up, everybody? Welcome to the 21 Duels Challenge Season 2 finale. I am Delthius. How's it going, everybody? I am doing well. Looks like I need to turn the game volume down just a smidgen. Okay. Let me know how the levels are in chat, please. I think that should be about correct. How's it going, guys? I'm doing well. Okay, I figured we should kick things off with a little bit of a recap of where we're at, and what's going on. So let me do this and that. Did that work? I think that worked. Yeah. Okay. So if you're unfamiliar with this is an event organized by Gentleman and Co. We had a Season 1 previously. We are finishing up Season 2. There's plenty of odds of the route thus far provided by Protocam. I believe Mishi had one as well. So how this works is there's 21 duelists, and we have our revolutionaries down here at the bottom. They all start with 4 lives, and they battle through in best of ones. If they win, if they lose, they try again, and they can lose a bunch of lives and get eliminated. So the first guy in Arc 1 was the Child, who took a game. Well, first off, our revolutionaries for this season were Swifty, Slyfox, Split, Srownel, Big Pimpintosh, Kerpa, Ace, and Red Dino. Froggo and Doohoo had to drop out, unfortunately. And the first duelist was the Child, who did pretty well. He took a game off Split, Kerpa, and Slyfox, and the Child was also the second duelist, again taking a match off Split, Red Dino, and Kerpa. Next we had Lesnick, who managed to take an HP from Big Pimpintosh. Pingu took 2 lives from Slyfox. And then we had Mr. Pedro Owl, European tournament organizer, and he took a life from Big Pimpintosh and eliminated Kerpa. Next was Jacoby, who did fairly well for himself. So he took a life off Ace, he took 2 from Red Dino, he took 1 from Slyfox, eliminated him, and took a life from Srownel. And then we had Jacoby again, who took a game off Swifty and knocked out Big Pimpintosh. And then we had the spooky interlude here. A couple of people gained some HP. And then we entered the KSR Saga, Arc 2, where Parzival knocked out Ace, taking 3 lives from him, took a match off Srownel. Quizzical and Anzu were not able to take any lives from the Revolutionaries. Vladlad knocked out a game from Swifty. Lieutenant Weasel was unable to defeat any of the Revolutionaries. And the new secret weapon knocked out Red Dino. And we had Mr. Gabany as here, Spies' opponent, and now, wait, okay, so yeah, so this is where we're starting, and we've got Swifty, Srownel, and Split, who are remaining. We're gonna start off with Split, and for the first round, it was one of the 5, and let me double check with the gentleman here. Okay. So Swifty reached Arc 3 first and picked a match. So basically, it was like whoever reached this first, like chronologically, got to select who to face. So Swifty was there first, and he picked his opponent. Srownel was there second and picked an opponent. I'm not going to say who until we get to their arc. And Split was the last. So Jacoby actually got to choose between the opponents here in the Gang of 5, and he chose Pedro. So that's where we're starting off today. Alright, let me go back to... Boom. Okay, so we're starting off here with Split. And a lot of these games are dummy games. Dummy replays just to not spoil anything. Okay, so everything looks like we're ready to go. I can go ahead and link that summary into the Twitch chat real quickly, if any of you guys want to take a closer look at it. I don't know if this link will work. If that doesn't work, complain to the gentleman, and I'm sure he will get you taken care of. So yeah, I think we're all ready to get started. So we're on duel number 15 here. And we're following Split's arc. He's got 3 lives left, and we're beginning on Pedro Owl. If you want to join Season 3, by the way, I think the duelist slots are pretty filled still. But Gentleman is taking extra revolutionaries, so if anybody wants to get involved in this and have a good time and be part of an event, message the Gentleman, aka Pickpocket, in Twitch, and he will get you taken care of. So, without any further ado, I think we're ready to go. If there's anything wrong with the stream, or anything crazy like that, please ping me in Discord. I might miss it on the Twitch chat as much as I do try to keep it going there. I actually switched it over to my desktop. This is the first time I've streamed off my desktop on this channel. I was actually streaming on my laptop for basically the entire time because, long story short, I have 2 gaming PCs I built. One for me, one for my wife. My wife's went down, so she was using my desktop as I was using my laptop. I eventually fixed her PC, getting my desktop back, and here we are. So, let's hop into it, guys. Game, I guess, duel number 15, match 1. Okay, spawning in the right, we've got the revolutionary, Split, and his opponent, the duelist, Pedro Owl. Alright, looking at this map here, Split's got access to 2 early campfires, very nice for the beginning, and he's got a decent expo over to the side. However, I really favor this map for Pedro. Like, he's got, look at this for Pedro, man. 4 possible expansions, all on the high ground outside of his base. I mean, that's very, very nice for him. Both these decks look pretty good. The Lizard Toad style coming out here for Pedro, which can be dangerous. I mean, we've seen players trying to make this work more and more often. And you can do it with some really good control on your Lizards, trying to bait out individual Toad hits on like a single Lizard rather than your whole pack, or even better if you can kind of ram your Toads into your opponent's Toads. That's pretty good for you. But a little bit of misstep on control and you risk getting all your Lizards blown up upon. So definitely needs to be careful with the micro in the tier 1 engagements. Other than that, the decks are pretty much identical with the exception of the tier 3. Split running that Fox and Pedro going for the Boar. I actually kind of like the Boar with the Lizard Toad style. Maybe you can get in there, soak up some of those Toads, you know, keep your Lizards back. Because that Boar's got so much HP, you know what I mean? Early campfire coming out here for Split. And we'll see how the game progresses from here. Nothing crazy thus far. Pretty standard openings for both players. That 3rd tier 1 Warren is starting to raise some alarm bells to me. Typically you see guys starting to tech up at that point, but it looks like Pedro wants to go for a lot of tier 1. These Lizards coming over here are going to try to knock out this early campfire. Is he going to be able to do it? There's several squirrels here to defend. If he tries to all in on this campfire, yeah, he could lose his units. He drops a couple Lizards on the retreat. But nice little attack, and Split's got to stay on his Toads. I mean, this is a good attack angle for Lizards to come back in here and try to finish the job later on. But Pedro's just going to go home for now, grab a Gristmill, and continue forth. But Pedro's not going to be happy, man. I think when you run this Lizard Toad style, you're kind of hoping your opponent's not running Toads, but Split does have Toads, you know. And, oh, here we go. Big engagement coming out. A nice Toad connection. But Pedro, with the Lizards, fighting the squirrels outside of the warriors, that could have gone a lot worse for him. You know, I mean, Split had the defender's advantage there. He even got a nice Toad hit, and the Lizards still kind of traded pound for pound. So not terrible for Pedro, but not the damage he was looking for. He's gonna go ahead and get his 2nd Gristmill going. 3 farms on that, so if he can just kind of hold on, he'll be in a good spot. But Split coming out with a lot of tier 1 here, looking to put on the pressure. Let's see if Pedro can hold. Ooh, the Toad engagements are very nice. And a nice little engagement there for Split. Is this going to be enough? He's going to push in and try to target fire down a couple of these Toads. I don't want to see him be too greedy here. He should probably back up onto that high ground again. But no, he's going to continue forward. And I think Pedro might have made a bit of a mistake with his build here, not getting any of those Toads once he saw his opponent had some. Because even if he just had like 3, and then you can try to micro your Toads into your opponents, and 3 Toads going off on 6 Toads, you get a little bit of an advantage. But he's, again, going to try to come in here. And, I mean, I'm not the you know, best player in the world anymore these days, but, like, I don't know. If you're going to run lizards, my gut reaction is to try to go squizzard, you know, squirrel and lizard rather than lizard toad, because then you can, like, have your lizards to harass, but you don't have to overcommit to them if you see your opponent's got toads. Like, look at that detonation there. 2 toads knocking out that entire lizard ball for Pedro, and Split is going to take the match and advance to the next duel. So let's see, duel number 16, still with 3 lives. Did I do that correctly? Yes, I did. Beautiful. Okay. So I believe duel number 16 had a couple things going on. Duel 16, there was a trivia, a couple trivia questions put forth by Mr. Gabany, and let me see what the results of that was. Split got 2 correct, but, well, I guess if you guys want to know, the questions was, what player was most well known for his mole rushes? And the correct answer to that was Master Stealth. Which of the following is the only unit trait not in Tier 2? The correct answer was Swift. What faction wins the battle at Howling Vale, the first free-for-all in the campaign? The correct answer was KSR. What player wants Lizard Toad to be viable? The correct answer was Chip from Space. And what is the name of the song that plays during the credits? And the correct answer was Victors Will Feast. Split got 2 questions right, but he obtained a re-roll for one of his failed questions because he was 1 question short, and the correct answer was debatable. But I'm trying to see... Okay, so the only one that something weird happened was on Srownal there. So he should just be going into Cheddar Jr. Okay, yeah. Because if you got it, so basically the point of the questions there was if you critically failed, if you rolled a 1 on your D20 in the questions portion, then you'd have to go up against Lord Cheddar, who is much stronger than Cheddar Jr. But Split got enough questions right to not get that penalty, and he is going up against Cheddar Jr. I see Pickpocket in chat, so if I mess any of this up, I'm sure he will correct me. And if I critically mess things up, please message me in Discord. Anyways, guys, so we're going into Duel 16, and Split is going to face off against Cheddar Jr. Let's do it. Okay, guys, our revolutionary over to the right, we've got Split. And his opponent, the duelist, Lord Cheddar Jr. Okay, pretty big map here. Kind of interesting. A little bit of water, lots of terrain, lots of high grounds, lots of like little attack points, you know, like that. So we'll see how this plays out. No lizards for either player. A little bit of mole aggression coming out from Lord Cheddar, but Split sees it. So let's see how he responds to it. He went for that Warren rather than going for a turret. Typically, you see guys build a quick turret in these kinds of situations, but the Warren looks like it's gonna work, and Lord Cheddar Jr. messing up with this mole harass a little bit. Loses that mole outright. Did he get the cell? Let me check my instant replay, aka my Twitch stream on. No, yeah, it doesn't look like he got the cell off on that at all. So losing 60 food there, basically for free. And this is going to prompt Split to do a bit of counter aggression here. Needs to be careful to not mess this up. He's got 2 squirrels on the way. This is going to be enough to start harassing this building farm. A 3rd squirrel is coming out as well. Keep in mind, Split is not on 8 farms himself. He's only got 6 going on at the moment. But he gets some good damage done here. He needs to be careful with his commander's HP. Going down to 5. Oh my god, is he going to get another pig? It looks like it. Very nice response here from Split to this early mole shenaniganery. Ooh, needs to be careful. 1 squirrel is going to go down, but he really wants to get that pig. That back squirrel was actually firing on the gristmill. So it could have been controlled slightly better if I want to be super nitpicky, but still a very nice early game advantage here for Split. I mean, Cheddar Jr. lost that mole, basically getting nothing done, and then the counter response from Split was beautiful. Knocks out a few farms there. And now he sees that Cheddar's really not got anything to his name. He built that emergency turret here to kind of dissuade Split from continuing the aggression. And it looks like we're going to advance into a mid-game with Split having quite the lead. And Split is going to take this lead and build this kind of proxy-esque gristmill. Really not super proxy, to be completely honest. Like, he doesn't have a whole lot of other good expansion opportunities to his name. But I imagine this is kind of a front base, right? Like, he could throw some some turrets up here if he really wants. He's got those proxy warrens. He's got a spot he can retreat to heal up very easily. Gonna come in here and knock this turret out and keep the aggression going. Does get the sell off on that building farm, but this might simply be too much damage, to be honest. Split is looking good so far. I love that retreat, by the way. Gets out of there once his squirrels get a little bit weakened, start getting their numbers thinned, and Lord Cheddar Jr. is not going to make this victory easy for Split here. Going to go ahead and build up a ton of turrets to make this hard to break. Split doesn't have snakes. He doesn't have ferrets. Those are typically units that are very good at breaking defensive positions like this. But really, the sky is the limit for Split in this game. I mean, he is so far ahead. He did so much damage in the early game. He followed that up with a nice aggressive mid-game, really kind of containing his opponent and working on his economy at the same time. I do a little bit of fast forwarding here because we have a lot of games to get through today. I like this move from Cheddar, just trying to get out on the map and make that secret base. He's behind. It's a good risk to take. And it looks like Split's just going to get up to some skunks. I maybe would have went for toads in this situation, to be honest, because those toads are going to do very nicely on knocking out those turrets. That hidden base gets scouted by Split very quickly. The squirrels are already on the way to go finish that off. But meanwhile, a bunch of moles coming out here from Cheddar Jr. He's just going to try to YOLO into this turret line. I don't think it's going to work out for him. So many turrets are here for Split. Split brings back his units a bit prematurely, but it doesn't matter, as Lord Cheddar Jr. taps out, and Split is going to advance on to the next round, still with 3 lives. Very nice, very nice. Okay. I don't think anything weird is happening for the next match. It is just Split versus Warp Gates. Let me double check my notes real quick. I believe the next weird thing will be at match number 20. The last special rule is match number 20. Yes. Okay. So, Split kicking ass so far. Up 2-0. Walking into Duel 17 with all 3 of his lives remaining. So, let us hop into it. Alright, spawning in the upper right, we have the Revolutionary Split. And his opponent to the bottom left, the Duelist, Cold Warp Gates. Now, Cold Warp Gates is a very formidable opponent. He plays pretty often. He's a very strong player. So, love to see what's going to go on here. I actually, like, the deck that Split is running is my favorite ladder deck, so I'm kind of hyped for that. And I like the deck from Cold Warp Gates, though, more, to be honest. It's more innovative. I feel like what Split is going for is really nice if you're a fan of that Ferret Fox style. That's a very standard way to get it done. You've got those Falcons for the late game to kind of make up for the weakness of the Fox, and Ferret Fox Turret just synergize very well to create poke-style pushes. And you got the Toads in there to defend against Lizards, or even to do well against Tier 2. But meanwhile, Cold Warp Gates here, rocking 3 Tier 2 Wolf Barbed Wire. So really cool to see that Chameleon and Falcon Tier 2 picks are going to benefit phenomenally from the Wolf buff. But hold that thought, as Split is going for a 5-farm double here. It was scouted by Cold Warp Gates. I like how he tried to hide one of the Warrens, by the way, on that high ground. But here comes the attack. And let's see if Cold Warp Gates is going to have units out in time to defend this. He looks like he's going to have a single squirrel, but that shouldn't be enough to defend against this pig going down. I don't want to see Split get too greedy here, though. He needs to back out. Ooh, oh, man, I was going to say, if he keeps that other squirrel alive, that would have been huge. But decent defense from Cold Warp Gates, all things considered. He gets a couple squirrels. He only loses a single farm. And the economic situation is kind of stable for both players. You have to keep in mind that Split did sacrifice economy to go for that 5-farm double. So I feel like losing a pig in that engagement's not the end of the world. And if you actually look at their money right now, you can see they're fairly even as far as resources go. Maybe Split has slightly more since he's already thrown down that Tier 2. But Cold Warp Gates is going to come in here for a counterattack. He should for sure be able to return the favor of killing at least one pig. 2 squirrels go down for warp gates, 3 squirrels go down for warp gates, and not a single one for Split thus far. 4 squirrels total die for cold warp gates. But he did manage to knock out that pig, and Split with a very nice defense. Doesn't lose any squirrels there at all. I love the single piece of barbed wire, man. That kind of stuff is so cool to me. Like, especially imagine like if his territory was a bit higher out, you know, you put one like right there. Like, oh, that's so money, you guys. All right, tier 2 coming out for both players. Ferrets and chameleons hitting the board. The chameleons are kind of weak against Snake, but do pretty well against everything else, in my opinion, at least in the tier 2 slot. So, really, on paper, chameleons versus ferrets with a similar amount of squirrels for both sides. The chameleons should have the edge, unless the ferrets are able to get in there and poke down a lot of the opponent's army before the direct engagement comes in. So if I'm Split, I'm trying to use these ferrets at this point to get something done before that initial fight starts. Even if it's just a couple squirrels going down, it can make a big difference. So here we go. Cold Warp Gates is not messing around. He's moving in with his chameleons on front. Chameleons just do so good in these situations, but the ferret shots delete that chameleon. Very nice for Split there, but Cold Warp Gates manages to kill one of those ferrets on the retreat out. So kind of 1 for 1 on the tier 2, but that could have been a lot worse for Split. Like, he kind of got lucky there that both of those ferrets landed the shot on the chameleons. But great play nonetheless. And Cold Warp Gates is tired of it, man. He's coming in here. He's ready to get something done. He's going to try to push into the nests here. I don't know if this is the right call. That toad's going to connect onto the chameleon. The chameleon goes down. The squirrels do have a really nice arch. They're getting some work done. A warren has fallen, a farm has fallen, but the tier 2 remains strong in the back here for Split. And he should be able to hold this off. I mean, I guess that was fine. I don't think that engagement went really in favor of either player. I mean, you know, the tier 2 fell for Warp Gates, but he knocked out a pig, he knocked out a warren. I wasn't keeping perfect count there, but I assume a similar amount of tier 1 died for both sides. This might be better for Warp Gates if he continues the pressure, right? Because now Split's not farming as much. He doesn't have as much unit production as he did. So this is a smart play by Cold Warp Gates to keep this aggression going, in my opinion. The chameleon's on the front soaking a lot of damage. He manages to get one of them out in time. Very nice, but the other one fell. Ferret gets targeted down here. And now some real damage is starting to happen. That toad explosion, however, was very nice. And Cold Warp Gates is going to head home for the time being. Get his units healed back up and maybe prepare for the next attack. Meanwhile, Split is taking some fire here, but he does have a second base ready to rock and roll once he has some money to throw down some farms. You know, really, this gristmill, he's got to throw down at least a single farm. I feel like 2 farms would be better just to warrant its existence. Otherwise, it's kind of 60 food wasted. Cold Warp Gates getting his expansion up on the back of this attack. We have passed the 5-minute mark, so the economy for both players is starting to get real dicey here, especially Split, as 2 of those farms were knocked out. Cold Warp Gates gonna try to knock out this gristmill, making it very difficult for his opponent to continue to farm up, but those toads actually didn't quite connect on the chameleons, but they did still get good connections on the tier 1. It's kind of weird with the toads doing so much single target damage. Like, you do want to hit the chameleons, but you kind of also want to AoE and hit the squirrels. Cold Warp Gates shoved back for the time being. And let's see which players can kind of... Oh, interesting. Split decides to sell off that ferret in favor of another tier 1 warren and hopefully a farm on that second base. Like, I'm starting to get worried about these guys' economy. Cold Warp Gates only back down to 1 farm here. But he's continuing this aggression. He wants to end the game right here, right now. He needs to be really careful about these toads. As long as he can target down these toads, he should be okay. 1 gets targeted down. The other 2 go off and basically bop a chameleon. The other chameleon remains, though, and Cold Warp Gates might have enough momentum here. Keeping this chameleon alive is very important. That toad does connect, but not the end of the world. I do think it hit the chameleon, though, so it is a little bit low. And Cold Warp Gates manages to take the game, manages to take a life from Split. All right. Yeah, people are asking about Split. You know what? I don't think I've heard of Split either. The name's not ringing a bell. Yeah, so if you are in chat or if you are around, man, if you feel like poking your head out, say hi. If not, totally cool. I think I've heard of Split. Maybe I've cast a replay from them at one point or another, but yeah, kind of an unknown champion we have here, which is really cool to see. I love seeing new guys coming in Tooth and Tail, man. Anyways, he is the guy who rushes Fox on ladder. Yeah, my man. Okay, well then me and Split would get along just fine. Okay, guys, so Cold Warp Gates managed to win that, which means we're fighting again. And if Warp Gates wins these next 2 games, then Split is eliminated. Let's see if Split can take a map off of Warp Gates and continue to duel number 18. All right, spawning in the bottom, we have the Duelist, Cold Warp Gates, fresh off a win in this series. And his opponent up top to the right, we have the Revolutionary Split. All right. Again, Split's kind of rocking this standard Fox deck that I think is pretty decent. Meanwhile, Cold Warp Gates is changing it up again. And this is very important for tournament players. Or even the ladder when there's not a whole lot of guys on. Like, you don't want to be doing the same thing over and over, right? Like, if your opponent realizes, oh, I'm against Delthius or I'm against Split, and they always go Fox, they can start putting a bunch of anti-Fox stuff into their decks, like Lizards, like Owls, and defense and such. So I think that's really cool from Cold Warp Gates here to change it up. He's going Badger Fox, which is kind of an interesting, like, it's not out of the question to run Tier 2, Tier 3, but running 2 Tier 3 that both require individual micro is pretty interesting. I don't know if Warp Gates plans to get out both a Badger and a Fox at the same time, or if it's kind of just to have the flexibility to go into either one. Typically, the Badger is better against the Owl, for example, so maybe in those situations you get that Badger out. But Warp Gate's still rocking those Chameleons, which I think is really cool. Chameleons aren't the most popular Tier 2 at the moment, but you know, when snakes are on the board, they can really get a lot done in small engagements and stack pretty well into the late game when you get like 6 or 8 of them out or something. So Split grabbing that early campfire. Cold Warp Gates is going to follow suit. Pretty similar openings here. 8 farm into 2 Tier 1. The only difference is Split got his campfire going just slightly before Cold Warp Gates did, but it's not really going to matter too much. Cold Warp Gates should come in here and get the scout off on the second base. He sees the campfire as well. Let's see how he wants to follow suit. This is a very economic opening from Split. Like, not only is he getting that campfire, he's also getting a base. So yeah, Warp Gates is going to follow suit. One thing that Warp Gates could have done was try to maybe, you know, all in with a big Tier 1 play, but he's not going to do that. I think he feels pretty comfortable in this matchup. He's okay with it going to the late game. So we'll have to see how these players want to go from there. Split, grabbing a couple farms on his expansion, grabbing that Tier 2. He's going to scout and see Warp Gates is basically doing the same thing as he is, but he hasn't gone in and seen anything else yet. He hasn't seen any tech from Cold Warp Gates. He's not sure exactly what's coming out. But the truth be told, Warp Gates just hasn't thrown down tech until just now, where he grabs that Chameleon. Okay. Got a macro game on our hands, boys. Let's fast forward a little bit while these players gear up. And let's watch the supply at the top. Split, going for the Fox. I love it. Meanwhile, Cold Warp Gates throws down his own Fox. Basically the same timing. So we're going to get into a really cool Fox versus Fox situation here. Split's got the turrets, which can actually be very, very important in this kind of thing. You know, basically imagine if Split threw down a couple turrets like right here on this road, and then he can poke in with a Fox, run back to those turrets for safety. Basically how Fox vs. Fox is going to work if you're a newer player or not really familiar with that is the Fox is, if one Fox shoots another one, they're going to be at 1 HP. So anything else, right, like a squirrel hit or whatever is going to finish it off. But kind of interesting, like Split's got the turrets here. By the way, Cold Warp Gates threw his Warren down slightly slower than Split did. However, he did not supply block his Fox, so his Fox is going to get out slightly earlier. But both players kind of have a different, interesting advantage going into this Fox vs. Fox matchup. Split's got those turrets, which I've kind of touched on already, but Cold Warp Gate's got the pigeons, and that could be very, very useful. Imagine the Foxes go in, trade blows, they're both at 1 HP. Well, the pigeons from Cold Warp Gate can heal his Fox back up to max very quickly and allow it to get back into the fray, whereas Split is just going to have to rely on the natural regeneration within your own territory. So throwing down a couple turrets to start things off. I don't mind him. I think I would have liked him to be a bit more bold and throw him right on the edge of the territory. But he can kind of leapfrog up from here. He sees the Fox from his opponent. I don't think either player scouted the Foxes, but Split's commander goes down, and somehow, oh my god, the Fox just comes in at the right angle and kills Cold Warpgate's Fox with Split's commander being down. That is very, very good for Split. Super hype for Split. And a bit embarrassing for Cold Warpgates. That's one of the other big things in this matchup is, like, once the commander dies, it should be free reign for you to just kill your opponent's Fox, which can make this very, very volatile. However, just the angle that Split had rallied his units, like, I guess the Squirrel just managed to get a pop shot on Warpgate's Fox, and then the rallying Fox from Split just came in at the right angle, acquired that target, and bopped it. Split is in a very, very good position now. I apologize for the coughing and stuff like that, guys. I have a little bit of a sore throat today, which is not the day to have a sore throat when I have to cast for hours. But yeah, this is looking fantastic for Split. And let's see if Warpgates can get something done. He sold off his Fox Warren in lieu of more Squirrels. Kind of a smart thing to do, especially when he doesn't have defense, to kind of hold the opponent's Fox back until he can get his own Fox out again. But man, my money is definitely on Split this game. Yeah, Cold Warpgates in the chat. I expected him to have a Fox. I didn't expect him to snipe my Fox from beyond the grave. I know, that was so... Like, that sucks for you, man, but that was pretty hype to watch. Because on paper, like, Cold Warpgates should have killed his opponent's Fox in that scenario. But just the rally that Split's Fox was coming in and the position that Warpgate's Fox was standing is just the perfect storm there for Split. The Alliance Stars needs to be careful. The Fox drops down to 7 HP, but Warpgate's commander goes down. Great Toad connections here for Split. And this is probably simply too much here. In the sake of time, I think it's pretty clear that Split wins from here. Cold Warpgate's going to hold on to his last breath, but he should be tapping out here shortly. And Warpgate, or Split rather, will be advancing to duel number 18. Very nice fight. Unfortunately, a bit of unluck there. And nice rallying from Split. And he takes the game. Okay. Match number 18, guys. Split will be facing off against Mr. Meowkaiser. Alright, spawning in the bottom left, we have our Revolutionary, Split. And his opponent to the top right, Mr. Meowkaiser. Meowkaiser, a longtime community member of Tooth and Tail. Super cool to see him still active in events and hanging out with all you nerds, playing some games. Meowkaiser with the moles in the deck, ready to get a mole on the board. Went for the 5-farm opening, so it's a little bit delayed compared to the 4-farm, but your opponent doesn't get an immediate red flag. Like, if you see your opponent has 4 farms on that initial scout, they don't have that 5th one queued, it should be an alarm to know that something's going on, most likely mole aggression. But this is that newer style of mole aggression where it's not incredibly all-in. It's mainly to come in here and do exactly this. Split is not at home, so this mole's going to be able to knock out that building farm no problem. And Meowkaiser's just going to say, you know what, man, I'll take that victory and I'll go home with it. So Meowkaiser with an advantage in the early game. I love it. I think that was absolutely the correct play to get out with the mole in that scenario. Now he's going to wait for this mole to heal up to full HP and sell it off for that full refund of 60 food. Yeah, very nice early game here for Meowkaiser. Not the end of the world for Split, but he is going to be a little bit behind. Okay. Let's see where these guys want to take the game from here. Just going to go up to 8 farms, 1 or 2 tier 1. A little bit of fast forward. We're going to fast forward a lot today during the lulls in the matches just because we have a lot of content to get through. So Meowkaiser going for an 8 farm, 2 tier 1 into tier 2. Pretty standard stuff. Meanwhile, Split opting for some additional tier 1 here with a campfire. Now, this could be very deadly for Split, to be honest. This push, excuse me, this push coming out from Meowkaiser is going to be very powerful. The Falcons are going to be here kind of in time, but like Meowkaiser can come in with his skunks, grab this high ground, and just start raining gas down on his opponent, who primarily has a tier 1 army, and he's even going to use some moles for some tankage here at the early game. Split understands that this high ground is very important, wanted to contest it, but once he sees the skunk rather, he pulls back a little bit. Ooh, the target fire onto the skunk though. Very nicely done by Split, however, he's still taking a lot of damage, and skunk number 2 is here. A couple farms go down, but very nice for Split to pick up that early skunk. I kind of wasn't expecting that. So Meowkaiser are going to come home for a minute, get his macro on, and move back into the fray. The campfire for Split is indeed a thing, and Meowkaiser is aware of it, but he has his own campfire, so it doesn't matter too much. It's actually kind of a really big deal that, yeah, Meowkaiser lost the mole, he lost the tier 2 in that early engagement, but he also knocked out these couple farms, and it's going to be hard for Split to retake those farms at any given time here, because you know, food is so scarce at this point, you really need to be spending it on your defense. And here we go, another engagement is happening. Meowkaiser wants to target down those Falcons, Split wants to target down the Skunks. One falls from either player thus far. That other Falcon is not long for this world. Meowkaiser with a lot of momentum coming in here with these moles on the front tanking. He's going to take that trade, another pig dying, another 2 pigs dying. And Meowkaiser manages to kill both tier 2 while keeping his Skunks alive. Keep in mind, he lost some moles, but Split decides that is too much damage and taps out. And we're going to hop into the next match here. Split on his last life. So he's got to win every single game from here on out. Let's see if he can do it. Meowkaiser with a very impressive opening aggression strategy. I really, really like stuff like that, because Meowkaiser wasn't all in with that, you know? I mean, at any given time, he could have backed off, taken a second base, and macroed up. But it's cool. Like, you're building those units anyways. You might as well use them. You might as well put some pressure on the front. And that first attack from Meowkaiser was kind of like a shoulder check, as I like to call it. You know, just seeing if Split's paying attention. But he managed to get some damage done, which I think is why he decided to keep the attacks going. Because he realized, hey, I knocked out a couple farms for my opponent. He's not really going to be able to rebuild those. Now he got an income advantage. Let me see if I can just press this for the win. And indeed, he did. My southern accent came out a little bit there. Indeed, he did. All right, guys. Match number 2. Okay. Spawning in the bottom on his last life, the Revolutionary Split. And his opponent up top already took 1 life, seeing if he can take another and finish off the Revolutionary. We have the Duelist, Meowkaiser. Alright, Fox for both players here. Meowkaiser with that mole again. Let's see if he's going to go for it. He's kind of out and about. Yeah, I really like this kind of long-distance mole style play. It's a bit harder for your opponent to scout, because if they scout it, then the jig's kind of up. Yeah, as you can see, Split scouted it basically immediately, so Meowkaiser said, alright, comes home, builds a farm. So we're going to have a regular game here. No crazy early game stuff. And both players probably going to go up to 8 farms, 1 or 2 tier 1 into a tier 2, or perhaps an expansion, or if they feel super super edgy, could try to get out that quick fox. That's always fun to do. And this map looks okay for both players, right? Like, Meowkaiser's got... I mean, look at this for Meowkaiser. You can't complain there. He's even got a campfire over here. Not sure if he scouted it. No, he hasn't, but he's probably going to see it here shortly. Meanwhile, on Split's side of the board, he's got a couple campfires right next to home. He's got a couple bases as well, so you really can't complain either way. Even if you consider this base for Split, you know, it's actually going to be 4 bases total, and the only difference is Split would have an additional campfire. You could argue Split has a bit of the map advantage here since he is up on this high ground, which I would give to you, but it's pretty small, right? Like, Meowkaiser can easily control this high ground if he gets a little bit of tempo into this game. So yeah, pretty standard openings thus far. 8 farm, 2 tier 1, into a tier 2. I'm kind of curious if we're going to see either player get that early campfire. You know, they both have early campfires available to them. Split's double checking that one, making sure Meowkaiser has not taken it just yet. Alright, so Meowkaiser going to grab an Expo. A little bit of fast forwarding here as neither player is being aggressive. Meowkaiser with the... did I say split? I'm sorry, I was distracted trying to read the chat. Meowkaiser takes the Expo, throws down a single turret. I don't mind that, just to kind of dissuade his opponent from attacking. Wants to build up to a bunch of farms here. Split is not taking an expansion. Instead, he's getting out some decent tier 2 here. He's getting out a campfire. I need to turn my Discord sounds off. Sorry, guys. So, let's see how the game progresses from here. I mean, Split with both the campfires instead of a gristmill is kind of signaling to me that he wants to wait for these ferrets, build a lot of tier 1, and try to end the game right here, right now. With some good micro, he can make it happen. But the ferrets for Meowkaiser are on the way. First ferret is here, though, for Split. He's going to go ahead and start this harassment. Meowkaiser's going to start that dance, try to catch the ferret, try to mess up the targeting of the ferret so it can't just knock out that turret. Ooh, I love the Falcons coming up front to try to push back the skunks. A lot of cool little micro going on here. But here we go. The big engagement is going to happen. Split needs to be careful of these Falcons here. Both skunks falling for Meowkaiser. Very nice control thus far for Split, keeping all of his tier 2 alive. That turret, yeah, was doing a lot of extra damage there at the end when he thought he killed it and refocused. Yeah, very nicely done here for Split. Knocks out his opponent's tier 2, doesn't lose any of his own. I mean, he lost a decent amount of squirrels to that skunk gas, but, you know, what are you going to do? I wouldn't hate to see a couple toads go into the composition here from Split. But Split has got the bigger army, so he's okay with fighting Meowkaiser in this open engagement. Again, the skunk gas getting a lot done, but the skunk is going to fall to some good target firing here from Split. And I'm really impressed by Split keeping these Falcons alive. I mean, that can be very hard to do. They're very squishy units. They tend to fly up to the front lines. But Split's been on top of it and has kept them alive, and they've done a ton of damage. Meowkaiser under some fire, but he's holding strong for the moment. That Gristmill on like 1 HP. I don't think this is the right call for Meowkaiser to continue to force these fights out in the field. Split's just got the bigger army. He tries to pull back that Falcon, but finally one Falcon goes down. I think that's perfectly okay, though. Those Falcons are definitely going to receive the Medal of Honor after this game. Ooh, the other Falcon taking some heat, but the skunk gets targeted down again. Very nicely from Split. He's on top of his focus fire on the tier 2. Meowkaiser trying to focus down that Falcon. Doesn't quite get it in time. And a victory for Split is going to propel him to duel number 19. Okay, let me do that. There we go. Okay, guys. Super tiny, brief. Ooh, and then we're going to go into DJ. Very nice. I thought DJ was Lord Cheddar. I guess I'm wrong. Or maybe he is. I don't think we get to know who Lord Cheddar is. I think it's supposed to be a secret, right, guys? Super brief micro break. I'll be back in like 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Alright. Split. Kicking some ass so far. Let's see if he can keep it up. Good to see you guys in chat, man. What's up, the child? Pancakes around old Rabbit Lead. The OG crew all hanging out here. Of course, P-Boop. Probably gonna tell me to update my YouTube at one point. I might do that after the stream, actually. It doesn't need to be done. Alright, I think everything is still good. We haven't dropped any frames. I think the levels are pretty alright. So, let's get into it, guys. Duel number 19. Okay. Spawning on the right on his last life, we have the revolutionary Split. And his opponent to the left, the legendary duelist, DJ Soak. Alright. Yeah, DJ Soak was one of the OG badasses of this game. Known for his mole rushing, as you can see him doing here. Cool to see him still around in events and stuff like that, man. Looks like he's gonna go home. Yeah, that Split was on top of that mole rush. Shuts it down for the time being, and DJ is gonna come home and adjust into a 5-farm single warren, as he did see that from his opponent. Doesn't want to be caught off guard. Looking at the map here, I like the early campfire that DJ has available to him, but other than that, it's even enough. You know what I'm saying? Both players have access to two bases, so should be fine. Should be fine, Roni. Let's see how these guys want to continue from here. Do a little fast forwarding, as we do have a lot of matches to get to today. No big decisions made yet. No tier 2, no expansions. Campfire comes out for DJ. Now, did Split see the campfire get taken? He did not, but he does know a campfire is there. So he's probably can assume that DJ would take it. Goes ahead and throws down his ferrets. Gonna come in here for a scout. Gonna see the campfire, not see anything else. Meanwhile, DJ, let's see what kind of scouting info he gets. If he identifies a tier 2 coming out or not, that can be pretty important. But he's just gonna open up with a lot of tier 1. And, oh, he doesn't see the tier 2. Okay, there it is. Okay. Alright, yeah. Smart little double check there from DJ. He's probably running some numbers in his head and was like, you're missing food somewhere. So Split with the tech advantage here. Gonna look to get in there and start poking and prodding. DJ sees this is on the way. He's following up with his own ferrets, but they're not going to be out anytime soon. But he does have a lot of squirrels, and this is DJ Soak, so his control is very, very good. One squirrel falling for free, a second as well. DJ punishing Split for running away there. And just going to back out for the time being. Going very, very squirrel heavy. Going to use these ferrets to help. And it looks like Split might just want to come out here and try to harass with these ferrets. A little bit of tanking Grismo going on. I don't think he killed a squirrel with that shot. He's gonna back up. You got points for telling me to update my YouTube. I don't know, should we do bets? Do you guys want to play with wolf coins? If P-Boop is up for it. I'm probably not gonna do it, but we could get some betting going if you guys feel so inclined. But then again, there are, well, I don't know, because a lot of people watching were in in this, so they kind of know who's gonna, you know, what's going on, either as a duelist or a revolutionary. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. Alright, I like this from Split, just trying to harass with his ferrets. Needs to be careful though, loses a ferret. That is no bueno indeed. And Split's going to continue to macro up on his second base. DJ has a second base as well, but not anywhere near the same amount of farms. DJ going into some chameleons, which could work out very nicely here. Ferret harassment continuing here for Split. He's not completely dissuaded from losing that first Ferret initially. He's got a nice economy, to be honest. DJ doesn't have any tier 3 in his deck. Split with that Fox could maybe make something done, get something done, but Chameleon, Snakes, and Turrets are all very nice against the Fox, so we need to be careful. Maybe Split feels like he can do it here. He's kind of positioning himself for a nice attack angle. He's gonna swing in. He doesn't see the Chameleons here for DJ. The Skunk Gas getting on top of DJ's Squirrels, however, and these Chameleons just slaughtering their way through the front line of Split. I think DJ did fairly well in that last fight, and he thinks so too. He's going to try to move in here and get something done, but a bit of indecision allows Split to knock out some tier 1 units. The Chameleons come out from the shadows, though, and they're starting to beat down upon the opponents here. Ooh, Split. This is it, man. He's got to hold here, or he is out of the tournament. Pushes DJ back for now. Split does have a very nice economy, so even though DJ is kind of getting the better end of these battles, you got to keep that in mind. However, Split is moving in yet again. Skunk falling to this Chameleon. Even keeping that Chameleon alive here is DJ Soak. Alright, let's see if Split can do it. He needs to get something done. But this army for DJ is simply too big. You know, Split's got the better eco. Maybe it'd be a smarter idea for him to hang back, you know, let that economy kick in, get a whole bunch of units, and then swing again. But he's kind of rebuilt fairly well enough, and yet again, these Chameleons are just going to slaughter through the Squirrel line on the front, leaving the tier 2 exposed. DJ cloaking those Chameleons and keeping them alive. Very nice Chameleon control coming out here for DJ. These guys are getting a lot of work done and staying alive very nicely. Alright, let's see. So DJ's kept catching up on that eco as he throws down a couple farms on the second base. This Ferret Harass is good for Split. You know, in between engagements, he just needs to be moving forward, trying to get something done. But the Chameleon Trap is here this time around, and that's going to be a dead Ferret. Is it going to be 2 dead Ferrets? No. But very nice here for DJ. Always love to see good Chameleon Traps. Alright, DJ is going to get a lay of the land, see that second base is fully saturated. I think Split has seen saturation, yeah, for the most part. Turret going down. Split's going to try to find an angle to get in here. He does have some Toads. But the Chameleons from DJ, again, getting on the front lines, doing so much damage. Chameleons die this time. Ferrets left for both players. And Split, if he can keep this Ferret alive, that wasn't terrible for him. Ooh, and that Ferret goes down for DJ. Split might be turning this around. As long as he can keep his Ferrets alive in the back, he's gonna pull back for the time being and take that victory. Very nice here for Split. But he wants to keep the pressure on. He doesn't want to give DJ a chance to lick his wounds. The Warren goes down. Now Split is starting to get some real damage done. However, he's gonna lose that Ferret here. DJ sold his Ferrets off to try to get out more Chameleons, to try to get out more Squirrels. The economic damage is happening, though, from Split. Is he going to be able to take down DJ and continue in this event? The Warren goes down, the tier 2 Warren, very nice, and the Chameleon drop into the Ferret Fire. I think Split has just breaking through, and DJ might be past the point of no return here. Gotta keep that Skunk alive. 3 HP. Yep, DJ realizes that's too much. Taps out, and Split moves on. Okay, so there's something weird about match 20. Let's go over that. Let's see. The special rule is about match 20. Should a Rev reach the duel with more than one life and be brought to their last life during the showdown with Lord Cheddar will swap out for Cheddar Jr. But I believe since Split is reaching Duel 20 with only one life, he has to fight the actual Lord Cheddar, right? I think that's correct. Otherwise, it'd probably say Cheddar Jr. here. Or it might not, for spoilers. I'm going to assume that's the case. Yeah, no swap, because he's only got one life left. So basically, the rule on 20 is, let's say Split got here with 3 lives, and lost twice to Lord Cheddar, then Lord Cheddar Jr. would step in for the last match. But since Split got here with only 1 HP, he's got to fight Lord Cheddar himself. Who is Lord Cheddar? We don't know. A master of cheese. Maybe. Let's do it, guys. Alright, spawning in the bottom left, we have the mysterious duelist, Lord Cheddar. And his opponent to the top, on his last life, the revolutionary who needs 2 wins to take the thing. We've got Split. So what happens if Split wins this match and the next match, successfully defeating the 21 Duels challenge? Well, he's kind of in winner's limbo at that point. If the other players do not get completely through, then Split wins the event. But if both players get through, or even one other player gets through, then we go into free-for-alls and 1v1s and that sort of thing to determine the overall victor. Let's see it. 5 farm Warren openings for both players here. I guess just playing safe in this very important tournament match. Map looks pretty okay for Lord Cheddar here, you know. 3 early expansions, all on the high ground, all next to his base. Well, I guess this one's not on the high ground, but close enough. Meanwhile, Split, it's not too terrible. He's got a nice natural expand. He's got a pretty easy third base. You know, I'm not worried about the fact that there's an extra couple of gristmills on Lord Cheddar's side of the map, as most games of Tooth and Tail don't really go past 2 or 3 gristmills. Oh, I'm sorry. Betting was open. Or betting's going on. P-Boop's taking care of that for me. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, keep that in mind as you're going into it. You can bet your wolf coins on who you think will win. Damn, Chip's got all the wolf coins, man. That's awesome. Alright. Lord Cheddar in the bottom, grabbing an Expo. Meanwhile, Split up top, going for that 8 farm, 2 tier 1 into tier 2. Looks like he wants to take his gristmill as well. Yeah, keep your eyes on the chat, guys. I don't think I'm going to call out the betting. I'm just going to leave it up to P-Boop to get that started. Just for the VOD, you know? It'll probably be nicer if I'm not like, throw down your wolf coins every match. For people who are going to... Because a lot of people just watch the VOD. They don't watch live, you know? Anyways, we've got Snakes coming out here for Lord Cheddar. Grabbing a couple of farms on his second base. Meanwhile, Skunk for Split. Snake for Skunk, man. That can go either way. If the Snakes get those targets down on the Skunk, that could knock him out very quickly. However, Skunk Squirrel is kind of, I feel like, kind of stronger just in a tackle sense. You know, those Skunks doing so much damage, all the Squirrels, and the Squirrels target fire down the Snakes. I don't think any side would be incredibly favored going into that. I could be wrong. Alright, Split sees the Snake. He sees the farm count on the second base. Nothing super crazy yet. We'll do a little fast forwarding as this game progresses. So, no early game, no mid-game aggression. We got a macro game on our hands. We've got Fox and Owl here, which on paper does favor that Owl, but Split has Skunk Falcon, which can be very, very good against Owl. The Skunks deal with the mice, the Falcons deal with the Owls themselves. Here we go. Split is feeling froggy, man. He wants to put some pressure on. He's got the Ferrets to siege and force Lord Cheddar to come out and fight him out in the open field. Needs to be careful with that Snake. The Snake gets away. The Toads are huge. Knocks out a Skunk immediately. Knocks out a ton of tier 1. Lord Cheddar loses his tier 2. But the Ferrets remain here for Split, and his commander goes down. That's really bad. These Ferrets are now exposed. These ferrets should both die. Let's see. Okay, one ferret's gonna get out. Great defense there for Cheddar. And keep in mind that he's also up on farms. And that turret, man, dude, that turret living through all of that is pretty impressive. All right, Split's not done yet. It looks like he wants to get aggressive again. The snake coming out to try to harass. It's gonna get low, but it should make it out okay. Again with the Toad Crash, doing a lot of damage here for Lord Cheddar. Split's got Toads of his own. I wish he'd throw a couple into his composition here. It can make a really big difference. Maybe Split's a bit of an old school player, and he mainly has a Toads as like lizard insurance, but Toads are so much more than that nowadays. Like, Toads are just fine against squirrels in tier 2 as well. I think that's one thing that makes lizards kind of a rough unit at the moment, is just the overall strength of the Toads. Because back in the day, it was like you would build the Toads basically as anti-lizard insurance. But now, you know, so you would run into a lot of people who just don't have Toads in their deck, right? Because they're taking that risk. But Toads are just kind of a core. Core might be too strong of a word, but it's a smart pick regardless. You know what I mean? Because they're just so strong against squirrels, against lizards, against tier 2, even tier 3. Snake's coming out to harass here. Nicely done. Doesn't lose his snakes. Gets a couple kills. I mean, I feel like Lord Cheddar should have a bit of an advantage here. The economy for Split has caught up. But taking a third base is going to be very difficult for Split, to be honest. Since Lord Cheddar kind of gained control of all this area where he put his Toads and like all the units are chilling. You know, that's kind of blocking Split from taking that base. Split could try to run over here and take this one. Might not be a bad call. Maybe Lord Cheddar doesn't scout it. Even if he does, you know, it's got a nice moat around it. You know, it's going to be hard to attack into. The Fox Warren has been placed down. Did Cheddar see it? He did. So he knows what's up. And the Owl is miles ahead of the Fox here. And the problem is that Split, you know, the Owls should do well against the Fox. But Split doesn't have Falcons. He's not prepared to attack against this Owl. I think this is looking very good for Lord Cheddar. I doubt either player is going to move out until they have that tier 3 unit, so we'll fast forward a bit. Third base is being saturated for Cheddar. This is where it's getting dangerous, man. Split supply blocked on this Fox, which is super bad. Has to sell stuff off to get it. But Split also hasn't even thought about a third base at the moment, which is really deadly, as Lord Cheddar has a third base that's half saturated, and here he goes, moving in with the Owl. Toads going off for both sides. Tier 2 starting to fall for Split. And this might be too much. I mean, a lot of Lord Cheddar's army's dead, but a lot of the core of it still remains. He's got some tier 2 left. He's got this Owl left. The Fox is not out, and the poison on this Gristmill is gonna take it down. Split would have to counterattack and deal crippling damage to stay in this game. I don't think he's got it. But you might as well try. There's no reason for Split to tap out here. This is his last life. Maybe he can throw some kind of Hail Mary and get back into this game somehow. The Fox is here, but the Fox is not the best against the Owl. Starvation is getting real for Split, and he realizes that's too much. Split gets eliminated. A very nice run. You got to match 20. I mean, it's pretty damn good. Okay, so we are done with the Split arc, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to do an actual break. I think what we'll do is do another arc, and then I'll probably take a 5-10 minute break, and then we'll do the finale. But what I'm going to do is hop over to the break screen while I do some behind the scenes stuff and get the next one going. Who are we going to do next? I think we should save Swifty for last. Let's do Surroundle next. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. I always appreciate it. Keep sending me replays, guys. I know I don't do the show on a weekly basis anymore, but keep sending me replays to ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. Because I still like to do it from time to time, and if I check that email and it's like clogged full of replays, then that's kind of incentive for me to say, well, people want a show, and I should get in there and do it. So yeah, keep those replays coming to me, guys. Srownal is up next. Boom. Yeah, look at that. Hashtag production value. Okay. So, P-Boop, if you want to get that betting going. Let's see, who's Srownal? Well, I guess he's playing Jacoby. So Srownal picked second, and he actually picked into Jacoby, which was kind of surprising, because he could have picked any of the Gang of Five, besides who Swifty picked. And Jacoby's one of the stronger guys who was part of that, so Srownal, man, saying, you know what, I want to fight Jacoby again, I'm not scared. Okay. So we are hopping into Srownal versus Jacoby. Jacoby. Betting is open, you guys. Throw down wolf coins if you feel so inclined. And let us hop into Duel 15. Alright, spawning on the bottom, we've got Srownal, the revolutionary, and his opponent up top, the duelist, Jacoby. I think I've pronounced that name like 4 or 5 times already. Like 4 or 5 times differently, I should say. Like, I'm just covering my grounds, right? Like, one of the ways that I said it has to be correct. Alright, so Jacoby going with the Badger. We get the Fox with Srownal. Typically that favors the Fox player, but it's not always that cut and dry, man. Especially with Falcons. Like, Falcons, if they get up on the Fox, they could just pew-pew it so quickly. Same thing with the Badger, you know, you get the right positioning. Well, we got a pretty small open map here, so I don't know if we're even going to see any tier 3s. Srownal does have moles, but I don't think he's getting aggressive with them. He actually hasn't scouted his opponent yet. I think he did want to do that little bit of mole, I don't want to call it cheese, but like mole aggression in the early game. He couldn't quite find him in time, so no big deal. Gonna go up to 8 farms with the Warren, and Jacoby's pretty much following suit. So we got a nice spawn here for Srownal. He's got a campfire. It's a bit far away, but not too bad. He's got a lot of gristmills right there, and kind of similar situation here for Jacoby. He's got a couple gristmills right here. He's got a campfire. Bit of a better spawn for Srownal, but not game-breakingly so. Srownal going for a very quick expansion just off of a single tier 1 Warren. Let's just see what Jacoby decides to do. Looks like he's still kind of scouting right now. Let's see if he wants to throw down that tier 2. I think that's what he's going for. No, just going to get more tier 1 and into an expansion of his own. So both players looking to take it into a macro game, at least thus far. Srownal actually sold that farm upon Jacoby coming up to scout him. But I don't think it was that mind trick, you know, mind games advanced. I think he was just selling that farm to get that tier 2 slightly quicker. And we see the chameleons coming out again, and skunks for Jacoby, and I feel like that engagement can go either way. I want to say it might be a little bit chameleon favored, because if the chameleons can sneak in there and knock out those skunks before they do too much damage to the squirrels, that puts the chameleon player in a very good spot. But, you know, take that with a grain of salt. I think the skunk player is still got a good chance. I think it's a pretty even matchup. I could be wrong. With the pigeons, though, from Srownal, it's going to make it a lot harder for the skunk gas to be as effective. Alright, a little bit of gentleman's agreement. We've reached the 3-minute mark, and nobody's really attacked one another yet. I guess I would say Srownal's got a slight, very slight edge in this game as he's getting his farms a bit faster. Hey, we've got Iris in the chat. What's up, my dude? Good to see everybody. Alright, so Falcon's coming down for Jacoby. Yeah, I think we're just going to kind of get to some big Deathball-style armies off 2 base economies here. Like, neither player is really signaling aggression, and now we see the Fox go down from Strownel, so he's most likely not going to attack until that Fox hits the board. Fox gets scouted by Jacoby very, very quickly. It's not the end of the world for Jacoby here. He could throw down some turrets, he could throw down the batter, or I like this a lot. He's just going to try to come in here. Yeah, even tier 1 right on the front line. He does not want to play against Fox. He wants to hit a timing window where his opponent has invested 180 or even 360 food into a unit that's not on the board. He's looking to come in from an attack angle that Strownel's not going to expect, you know, on the same level terrain rather than right through that front door. And here we go. Jacoby's swinging in for the big engagement. The Chameleon's coming in. They need to target down these skunks as quickly as possible. One of them goes down. But the Chameleons both die with tier 2 remaining here for Jacoby. Gets that Falcon back just in time to keep it alive, but the focus fire from Strownel almost kills that Falcon again. Jacoby's gonna run away. Very nice hold here for Strownel. I think he suffered more losses. Like, he lost more tier 2, probably more tier 1, but, you know, he didn't lose any Warrens, he didn't lose any farms, and this Fox is almost here. And that's really all Strownel's trying to do. He's trying to hold on until his tier 3 hits the board. Jacoby knows this, though, and he's going to crash in for another big engagement. And the Fox is going to hit the board now. Lots of damage already being done by Jacoby, but he can't deal with this Fox. He's going to have to run home. He's going to have to throw down a turret or 2 and hold on. This is going to be painful. Jacoby really doesn't have any of the units that are very good at dealing with the Fox in his deck. He doesn't have the Lizards. He doesn't have Owls. He doesn't have Snakes or Chameleons. He does have turrets, though. So at least he can kind of zone the Fox out away from his core army, away from his pig line. But really, you can beat the Fox in this kind of situation. You need to do a couple things. You need to, like, force an engagement. Like, this kind of letting Strownel's Fox just kind of pick away at your army over time is worst case scenario here for Jacoby. He needs to force an engagement where that Fox's DPS is not going to be very, very high within the fight. Doesn't want to focus this Fox too hard, though, and walk his units through everything else, but that looks like what he's going to do. The Fox is at 1 HP. Is the Falcon gonna get it? I don't think so. Ugh. Yeah, that's not the right move to make, unfortunately, man. It is very tempting to try to do that. But while you're focused on that Fox, the rest of Strownel's army is just making mincemeat out of your troops. Very close, though. I mean, if Jacoby did kill the Fox without losing too much of his army, then it's hard to call it a mistake there. But it's very tempting to do that sort of thing. I personally don't think it's correct. But it was close. And if that Fox died, it could have been a different game. Nice victory there for Strownel, though. He's going to get through Duel 15 without losing a life. Let me see what's going on with this. Okay, so Duel 16 was a trivia round, which Strownel failed. So Strownel gets the bad surprise. The bad surprise is that Lord Cheddar plays the first round of Duel 16 instead of Cheddar Jr. But if Strownel loses to Lord Cheddar, then he goes back to playing Cheddar Jr. So, we're going into Duel 16 here, and Strownel did not get his trivia questions about Tooth and Tail correct. Or at least not correct enough, and he must face the big boy, the big cheese, in match number 16. Spawning in the left, we've got the revolutionary Strownel. And his opponent to the right, the duelist, Lord Cheddar. Ooh, Very old school looking deck. This deck is reminiscent to me of the time when balloons were very, very powerful and popular. You don't see balloons as much these days, but I think it's a smart call from Cheddar. A bit of a read against his opponent, as the balloons are very, very useful against Fox. So maybe Cheddar has reason to believe Serrano will play Fox and win for it. But even still, I think the balloons synergize pretty well with this type of style Lord Cheddar is going for. I actually like Lord Cheddar's deck a lot, to be honest. Like, Squirrel, Toad, Lizard looks super fun in the early game. You have a lot of options there. Bit of an early Warren here for Serrano, by the way. I wonder if this is aggression or safety. Looks like it's just a safety Warren. Where was it? Oh yeah, a lot of cool options in the early game with having Squirrel, Toad, and Lizard all available. He's got that Skunk, which if you're just going to run one tier 2, excuse me, the Skunk's probably the safest one to go with. I agree with that. And that Owl is just obviously a powerhouse. You know, Cheddar probably wants to macro up really hard, use a couple balloons to help zone his position, and get up to a large Owl count. Meanwhile, Serrano's running a pretty interesting composition as well, with the Boar Fox Chameleon style, and those Falcons probably there if the game goes too late to give him an option to fight against Owls, which Lord Cheddar doesn't have his own Falcons, right? So if we get to that late game scenario, you know, tons of Falcons against Owls, those Falcons have a chance for sure, especially with the Boar up front, helping to deal with all the mice. A little bit of a sneaky campfire. This is a really weird map, by the way. Pretty short rush distance. And a lot of the map is kind of just covered in a forest. But that campfire there, I doubt Lord Cheddar will ever get a scout on that. Maybe he will. But Serrano's going to get that campfire for free. Both players opening up fairly standard. We had some safe Warrens go up, so it wasn't quite an 8 farm opening. But they're going to get into, you know, a couple tier 1 into a tier 2 to start the game off. Cheddar rocking that Expo, gonna get scouted immediately by Serrano. And we'll have to see where the players go from here. No big commitments quite yet, just kind of standard build-up type of stuff at the moment. Cheddar looks like he wants to harass with the Skunk. He needs to be careful, though. Let's see his control. Getting some work done. No squirrels died just yet, but, you know, a little bit of poking and prodding, kind of forcing Serrano to stay on his toes. He's trying to set up this chameleon trap, which is going to be a lot more effective once both chameleons get up there. Because I don't think Lord Cheddar knows about the chameleons yet. He has seen a tier 2 Warren, and he hasn't seen any tier 2 units. So maybe he could just go ahead and infer that my opponent has chameleons. That balloon is in such a good spot. That is a very, very good balloon. I love that balloon. On the double high ground there, and it's protecting multiple bases. It's giving Cheddar a lot of vision. You know, this big high ground fights that we see starting now, those balloons are going to do well in. But Serrano did knock out both Skunks, but he lost his chameleons for it. Cheddar's pushing the advantage, though. I think Serrano overbuilt pigeons here. Going up to 6 at this point in the game might have been a little bit too much, but he was trying to combat against those Skunks. However, man, Cheddar. Maybe that balloon really helped in that fight. Maybe it didn't. But Cheddar's got enough to break through. Doing a lot of damage to Serrano here. Balloon made me panic big time, said Serrano. Yeah, dude, I bet. Like, you don't see balloons that often anymore. And I think that's kind of what makes it so powerful in this deck, is it's just like, what do I do against it, you know? Do I all in on it? Do I try to stay away from it? Do I just play normal? I love that Cheddar sold that balloon after that big engagement, by the way. Like, he needed that balloon to really gain control of this high ground in that first initial fight. Now he has control of this high ground. Now Serrano's got to be real careful after losing that first engagement. So Cheddar's like, you know what? I don't need that balloon. I need 2 extra farms here on my Expo. But Cheddar pushing in. The Skunk probably will go down to the chameleon. No, Serrano doesn't reveal the chameleon. Skunk does end up dying, though. Toads managed to kill most of the chameleons here. Skunk number 2 is down as well. This chameleon up front is getting some work done. If Serrano can keep it alive, no, it falls. Serrano's going to push back his opponent for the time being. However, the real story is we've passed the 5-minute mark, and Cheddar has a half-saturated second base, and Serrano does not. Serrano does have the campfires going, though. He's got 2 of them, so keep that in mind. And he's got that boar on the way. If Serrano can just hold on, you know, even give up this second base. Not ideal, obviously, but, like, really, if he could just get that boar, man, maybe that'll be enough to push through and do a lot of counter damage to his opponent. Yeah, Cheddar's gonna knock that out. But Serrano's supply blocked. I'm trying to get that boar going. It's gonna take a while for him to be able to fund it. Is Cheddar aware of the boar? No, he is not, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, he hasn't seen the boar. But the boar still hasn't started just yet. There we go. It's getting started. What's the build time, like 40 or 50 seconds? Something like that. So the boar will be around within the next minute. But Cheddar's gonna force the engagement again. And, you know, Serrano's big part of this army was wrapped up in that boar. It just quite wasn't out in time. Cheddar doing a very good job of maintaining the tempo here, maintaining his momentum, and pushing in. And this is just gonna be too much damage. Serrano's gonna have to tap out and lose the match against the big cheese. Go into the fight against the little cheese next. He's gonna get this boar by howdy, though. Oh, Serrano! Don't let your dreams be memes, my man. Coming in here. He's got the boar. Can he get it done? A single boar? Probably not, but I'm interested to see how much damage this boar does do. I'm gonna roasty toasty that Warren. This boar just getting thing done, hanging out. Oh, the toads! Boar versus toads! Ugh. Alright, this game's totally over. What are we doing here, guys? The boar's coming in, gonna flamethrow down all those lizards. Nice stutter step micro, nice pigeon healing, but that is it. Serrano had his fun with the boar, taps out, and Cheddar takes the match. So, Serrano is gonna lose a life here, but now he just has to fight against Cheddar Jr. You know, he paid his penalty for getting the trivia wrong. Dealt with that loss from Lord Cheddar, but he's just fighting Little Cheddar now. The Little Cheese. Hashtag Little Cheese. Duel 16. Spawning to the left, we've got the Revolutionary Serrano. And his opponent to the top right, Lord Cheddar Jr. P-Boop keeping up very nicely with the bets. If you do want to play with your wolf coins, the bet is open. Throw down who you think will be the victor and earn more wolf coins. Okay, Lord Cheddar Jr. looking for some mole aggression. Gonna go for a double mole off of 4 farms. Serrano not gonna build the turret, instead building a warren in the back. Probably prepared to sell this pig if needed, but I don't know. Is it gonna get... No, he's gonna be safe. And I've seen some players, it's either like Amari or Mishi or something like that, where they just keep that building pig and it like builds like right in time and doesn't die, and it's like, dude, how do you know that? Like, so calculated. Sign my mouse pad. But Serrano being safe there. Loses a pig. Kills 2 moles. I mean, kinda evenish, right? I don't think either player's super far ahead. Probably a little bit better for Serrano, just food count, you know, 120 food for 60. And a couple squirrels moving across the map. Very smart by Serrano. He realized that he built his warrens first, therefore he will have a couple squirrels before his opponent does. Not going to be super greedy and go for the pig line. Instead, just going to knock out this warren, which you should be able to get away with, and get home. 2 HP on the commander. Very well controlled there by Serrano. You knocked out a warren, you knocked out an opponent's squirrel, and he did not lose anything. Alright, a single mine coming down here for Lord Cheddar Jr. Maybe a little bit of a scouting mine. Just kind of raise the alarm if Strownel is on his way over. Strownel is looking really good in this early game. He kind of won in that mole aggression. He won in his counterattack. And let's see what he wants to do. He just wants to get more ahead. He's going to grab a base, maybe throw down a couple farms on it before he maybe builds up to a little bit more tier 1 and a ferret is what I would imagine. We're going to do a little fast forwarding here. Cheddar Jr. moving out. Gonna think better of it though and go back home for the time being. Ooh, sells a farm. He wants to end the game right here, right now. He's going all in here. He's gonna say 6 squirrels and 2 moles, man. Can you deal with it? Let's see it. Here comes the little cheese. Mole's doing a good job tanking on the front line. One goes down, the other one's still alive for the time being. It's gonna fall, but it gave Cheddar Jr. the meat shield that he needed to come in here, pierce through Strownel's units, and do a lot of damage. I'm actually impressed. I didn't think this was gonna work as well. Gonna go for that turret before it can get up. Nicely done. I don't want to see him get too cocky though. Take out that gristmill. You know, maybe take out this Warren. But no, he's gonna go for it. And this might be the right play. Let's see. It's a little bit risky. Oh, his commander is gonna fall. And Strownel should be able to hold from here. But he took pretty significant damage. Like, that was a nice attack from Cheddar Jr. I would have liked to see him pull back and just knock out that gristmill. Maybe go home instead of pushing into the pig line. But he got some damage done with that. Comes back home, builds that 8th farm. Probably gonna throw down another tier 1 more and keep the pressure on. Alright, Strownel positioning his units in a nice spot to protect both his main and his second base. Throwing up a little bit of a turret here to deter Little Cheese from coming in here. Cheddar does need to get something done. He can't sit around and let Strownel just macro up and get that second base going. Let's see what he decides to do. Gonna take his own second base, perhaps? Yeah. Not a bad call. I'd like to see him maybe throw down a tier 2, but Strownel doesn't really have tier 2 yet either, so not a super big deal. Ooh, sees these mines go up. Doesn't manage to take it out, but he does know it's there, so he's not going to receive too much damage from it. Okay. Both players still on tier 1. Getting their second bases up and running. Alright, Little Cheese. Positioning his units up front. Just kind of hanging out. I don't think either player is really going to attack just quite yet. No tier 2 or tier 3 yet. Kind of surprising. Like, we're 6 minutes in. Both players just building a lot of tier 1 and getting their economy going. Skunk's finally getting thrown down for Cheddar. Cheddar Jr., I should say. It's like a cheeseburger junior. Oh man, I'm just hungry. Lord Cheddar Jr. Sounds like something at Burger King. You know what I'm saying? Kind of fits that medieval hierarchy. Lord. The Lord Cheddar Jr. $9.95. Alright. Couple mines going down. The mines do get seen from Strownel though, and a big part of mine's strength is their stealthiness. So once you know the mines are there, you can do things like that, try to blow them up without taking too much damage. Lord Cheddar Duke chicken fingers. Oh my god, I'm too hungry. I might get a burger. I don't know. Go get some Five Guys. Maybe I can talk my wife to do it for me. That'd be good. Okay. Turret coming down on the front line. And we're going to have a nice engagement here. Lizards running in. They take a lot of damage from the mines. But he's still... Damn, so much damage from those mines. Really cool to see. Wow. Like, and the mines were kind of on Cheddar's retreat path, you know? That was a lot of... that was really good. I mean, Stroudnell's still at a fine spot, but I'm just kind of pleased to see mines perform that well. Like, we don't typically see that super often nowadays. Skunk going down. Stroudnell keeping the pressure on here. Oh my god, now the chat's all talking about food and it's making me even hungrier. Chicken wings does sound good. I haven't had chicken wings in a while. I don't know, man. Five Guys. I might just go for that American burgers and fries, you know what I'm saying? The Lizard's getting in here again. Lizards are really good against Tier 2, in my opinion, maybe with the exception of, like, the Chameleon, just because they can get up on them so quickly and knock them out. A nice display here from Lord Cheddar, but I think Stroudnell is finally coming through. But I'm really hyped for how well those mines worked out for him. Like, that was really cool to see. It looks like Stroudnell's got it from here, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, he's gonna run back. I think he's worried about Lord Cheddar trying to do the counter mole. Very nice. He only ran back with his lizards. He kept his moles and ferrets on the front line. Continuing to do their thing. Lord Cheddar Jr. taps out, and Stroudnell advances. Great play from both players. Really cool to see mines doing some work. Okay. Cold Warp Gates. Duel 17. Let's get into it. Well, maybe I'll give P-Boop just a second. Just a second. To get it going. Mines are hype, Chip. And good to see you, by the way, Mr. Chip from space. Always a pleasure. Alright, Duel 17. Let's get into it. Alright, spawning at the bottom, we have the Duelist, Cold Warp Gates. And his opponent up top, Stroudnell. Betting is open, so throw down dim coins if you want to have some fun gambling with the wolf coins. And let's take a look. Stroudnell rocking the Fox, Cold Warp Gate with the Boar Owl. Really cool combo. I haven't seen that one in a while. Stroudnell does have the moles. Let's see if he goes for it. Nah, he queued up that 6 farm, so just scouting about. I'm a good old scout. Stroudnell with a natural base pretty close by. A couple campfires. That's pretty nice. Ooh. Delayed mole. I like this. It's Cold Warp Gate's gonna see it. He is indeed. How is he gonna deal with it? Yeah, I don't even think he needs to sell anything. Spills that Warren. I think he should be okay. A single mole, I don't think, can take out a pig with this much defense. He's gonna try to get that building pig. But that's kind of what I was talking about. I think Warp Gates was thinking he would finish that farm in time. That's why he didn't sell it immediately. But didn't quite work out for him. Lost a little bit of food there. But Stroudnell did delay his own economy to get that early mole. So keep that in mind. This could be a pretty good map for Warp Gates if he secures this area. You know, once he gets a couple of these gristmills right here, these other gristmills are basically given for him. Even Chip is yelling at me to update my YouTube. I will update my YouTube today, you guys. I actually don't have a lot to do today. One of my best friends in real life is getting off work in a few hours, and we're going to play some video games together. I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, I'm just chilling, man. Might be streaming on Delthius TV a little bit. We'll see. That's my other channel where I play other RTS games. Trying to get in the habit of streaming more. Figure if I'm playing games, I might as well turn the stream on and say hi to anybody who wants to watch. Alright, Stroudnell, saving up money. Is he going to go for the tier 3? No, he doesn't. He got me hyped. He doesn't have a good spot to throw it down. Like, if he had one more tile up here, that'd be nice. But he does not. Okay. Warpgate's got the boar going. Has Srownel seen it, is the question. Yes, he has. So he knows the boar's on the way. If I'm Srownel, that means I really want to get my Fox out. That Fox is going to do nicely against the board. He even sells off his tier 2 just to get that tier 3 unit in the safest position as possible. Again, this would have been really cool for Srownel if he could build back here, but he can't. No eco really coming out for either player just yet. Single campfire here for Srownel. That's definitely nice. A boring unit. I get it. I get the joke, you guys. Okay. Okay. Doing a little bit of fast forward. Kind of one base play from both players here. Like, nobody's really talking about an expansion. We do have that campfire from Strownel, so keep that in mind. Which is kind of deadly on Warpgate's side of the map. Like, kind of the high-level theory in the current meta is, like, if you see your opponent with the campfire, that kind of forces you to get a gristmill. But no, Cold Warpgates is aware that he doesn't care, man. He was waiting on this board. The board is here. If Cold Warpgates can crash into his opponent before the Fox is out, he's going to have a lot of army value advantage. He's got a few more seconds. Let's see how much damage he can do before the Fox hits the board. But even once the Fox is here, like, he's kind of backed into the corner. The Fox is not going to kill this army very quickly. This board is very huge. Let's see, the chameleons are coming in. How much damage can get done? The boar actually goes down, and Srownel makes mincemeat out of this army. Damn, that boar died so fast to those chameleons. I thought that boar would get a lot more done. But Srownel managed to keep his tier 1 alive, and now Cold Warpgates really doesn't have anything to deal with this Fox. He sells off the boar, knowing he's not going to get another one back out in time. He just needs whatever food he can muster up to build as many tier 1 as possible. The Fox coming in. I think this is too much damage. Yeah, the chameleon play did not quite work out for Cold Warpgates. As Chip kind of points out in the chat, he was kind of focusing down those Warrens a little bit, where he really should have been getting that fire on the army as much as possible. But Srownel, with a beautiful defense, just absolutely wrecked the army of Cold Warpgates. Look at that army graph, man. And he still had basically his whole army alive, at least most of it, after the big attack. With the Fox, comes back in and takes the match. Nice try from Cold Warpgates. Like, boar is totally off the meta, so it's cool to see guys go for something like that, you know. It didn't quite work out for him there. Okay. We're going to do another little micro break, you guys. I am talking a lot and drinking a lot of water. I need to get more water. And I will be back in about a minute. It's going to be a pretty short break. Okay, I am back. What's up, guys? Oh, I don't think I have my follower alerts thing active at the moment, so if people have been following, thank you. I see you guys in chat advertising for me. I appreciate it. Yeah, ToothAndTailTV, I'm still here. I'm not doing it 8 times a month like I used to, but still here, guys. Still want to do events and stuff and put out a replay show every now and then, so make sure to keep sending me your ladder matches or your unranked matches to ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. Still like to put out a show once or twice a month for you guys. And don't forget, yeah, I do have another channel, Delthius TV, where I play other games. At the moment, I'm playing StarCraft 2, Warcraft 3, Magic, stuff like that. So check that out if you want more Delthius. Anyways, guys, back to business here. Duel number 18. Let me see. Everything looks pretty good. And let's get started. Bets are already underway, so let's do it. Spawning in the bottom, we have the revolutionary Srownel. And his opponent to the top right, Meowkaiser. Meowkaiser with the Fox, but Srownel with the Owl Boar. I'm sorry, Owl Balloon. Both very powerful against Fox, and even Lizard as well. Like, Srownel has a lot of anti-Fox stuff in his deck. So if Meowkaiser goes for that, he might have a bad time. We'll see. Meowkaiser with a very sneaky mole position. Oh, but Srownel doesn't scout it. I thought for sure he would. That mole could be a pretty big deal. As he's going out to scout now, Meowkaiser should be on his way back to start piloting that mole. Let's see if he can get something done. Srownel already selling one farm, sells the other one. Starts building a warren, but it's so far away. I think it did get a crit off, so he should have taken a little bit of food loss on selling that warren. Oh, it is the deck Lord Cheddar defeated you with. That's funny. Okay. Let's see where the guys want to take it from here. 7 farm, double lizard aggro coming from our revolutionary Meowkaiser. Pretty straightforward opening. Didn't quite get as much damage done with that mole as he would have liked, but he didn't lose the mole or anything like that, so he's pretty okay. Alright, Mr. Srownel moving and grooving. He's got a few lizards. Let's see if he can make it happen. He wants to find the right angle. Ooh, and the lizards get scouted by Meowkaiser. Now he's on alert. I think Srownel's just going to head home now. Taking a look at the map. Nice, easy expo there for Meowkaiser. But the rest of the map looks pretty good for Srownel. That was one thing I think that's the only 2 cents I've really put in on balance stuff with Andy. And I'm glad that he implemented it. It's not just my idea, obviously, but I tried to make the point, like, in map RNG, you gotta give them at least one base that's easy to get to, because we would see, the only time I think a map that's really unbalanced is when you just don't have an early expo option, right? Like, imagine this map without this gristmill here from Meowkaiser, or even without that one. It's like, well, kinda have to go one base at that point. So that is in the map generation algorithm, trying to make sure that each player has a gristmill at least reasonably close to them. Alright, turret coming out from Meowkaiser. Wants to be careful from those lizard run-around attacks and such. And not the worst map in the world for Srownel. I mean, these doodads here in this water is not great, because he would have liked to have that attack path as well. But he can kind of come in from, like, here. He can come in from over here. It'd be a little interesting. No toads here for Meowkaiser, by the way. And 4 skunks coming down for Mr. Meow. Lizards are gonna do pretty well against skunks, in my opinion, though. Especially toads as well. Toads do a lot of single target damage to those skunks. The lizards can get in there and target fire down those skunks pretty quickly. Do a little bit of fast forwarding here. Is there in a bit of a macros situation? I like Meowkaiser's position a bit better, but not by a lot. Well, I don't know. Like the variety in the tier 1 from Srownel shouldn't be underestimated. Meowkaiser's thinking about moving out. Here we go. He's got the fox on the way. You know what I say all day. Let's see if Srownel can get that scout. He's looking for it. Looking to get in there and see what his opponent's doing. See what the army composition is. Lots of turrets coming down. No ferrets here. No snakes. Does have the owl, though. The owl can eventually bludgeon its way through those turrets in the correct numbers. Fox Warren gets sold immediately. I love this play from Meowkaiser. Right when the fox gets sold, he sells it off. He builds 1,000,000 moles. He sells his turrets. Srownel, look at this, and Srownel's taking the bait. He built a couple farms. He built the owl. That is not what he needs. As Meowkaiser is running forward, gonna kill this balloon before it gets up. Some good toe connections onto these moles, but they're still standing strong with 4 skunks in the back doing so much work. What a beautiful play from Meowkaiser. That is what makes Tooth and Tail so unique as an RTS. Like, you just don't see that kind of stuff in other RTS games. And trust me, I play, like, a lot of the RTS games. I love RTS games. And that's what really divides Tooth and Tail is the mind games there. Oh, man, Srownel is going to clean it up. But really cool for Meowkaiser nonetheless. Like, that got me super hyped, man. That was awesome. You know, Srownel getting in there, seeing a ton of turrets, a fox coming out, and right after the scout, Meowkaiser selling all that junk off, building a ton of moles, and coming in. And he almost got away with it. Lizards are just pretty good when your opponent doesn't have toads. Especially against skunks. Maybe it was too much moles. Maybe the toads got really good engagements on the moles. But this is looking pretty good for Srownel. He comes in with the toads, comes in with the lizards. Skunks are starting to fall. But the big story here, like, he won that, you know, but not by a lot, but he won that. But the big story is just that second base, right? Full saturation for Srownel. Only a few for Meowkaiser. But Meowkaiser holds for the time being. Is Meowkaiser aware how far behind his economy is? He is. Here comes Srownel again. So many units. So much tier 1 here. If I was Srownel, I'd probably try to come in and attack from this angle, so I'm not getting, you know, so funneled through here against the skunks. But Srownel doesn't care. He's got so many numbers. The lizards come in first to deal with the skunks. The rest of the army follows suit. Just runs over Meowkaiser and advances to the next stage. Okay. Srownel, damn, lost the bet. Good guy, Srownel. See that? Then that's like mind games on betting, right? Like you see Srownel bet, and you're like, is he? I mean, he knows, right? I guess it's coin flip if you're gonna believe his bet or not. Those are not lizards, those are skinks. Oh, dude, we should have a lizard skin. Or skink skin. I need to get my skins back on here. At least a couple of them. Like Lizard Wizard, it's too good. I forget why I don't have the skins. Oh, well, for one, I'm on my desktop for the first time. Alright, we have a new bet up. DJ versus Srownel. Throw down those wolf coins, you guys. And let's get into it. Alright, in the bottom left, the Revolutionary Srownal, still with 2 lives left, unless I miscounted that. And up top, we've got the one, the only, DJ Soak Duelist. DJ with the 4-farm opening, of course, looking to get some moles going. But the terrain, the map is not quite right for DJ to get in there. So he builds a single farm for the time being. He's moving out again. I don't think he's got one queued. No, he did queue. Okay. Oh, he didn't even know on the first scout that he was there. That makes sense. So, Srownal building a safety mole. Knowing DJ as the mole master he is, you always got to be careful about that kind of thing in the early game. And we're going to go into a regular match from here. A little bit of a fast Warren from DJ, but nothing too crazy. Kind of same boat from Srownal's side. He has that mole there he doesn't really need. He's going to sell that off and get up to 8 farms after double checking DJ was not throwing down a mole. And we got a pretty normal game on our hands. I think DJ went ahead and sold off that Warren. Now, Srownal thinks he has a Warren. No, he doesn't. And he's just going to build some moles right here in Srownal's face. Oh, that one pig, though, hitting the mole. That's super unfortunate for DJ. Still going to force a sell there. Get a little bit of food back. Overall, I think DJ kind of slightly lost out in that. So needs to be careful. Throwing down that turret in response to the mole aggression coming out of Srownal. Lots of stuff going on in this early game here. But no, Srownal's going to change his mind, go back home, build some Falcons. And let's see where we're going from here. Lots of tier 1 from DJ. 4 tier 1 is a decent amount. DJ is looking to get aggressive, if you ask me. And he's going to come in and see the Falcon from Srownal, which Falcon's not going to be super duper powerful in small numbers like this. Falcons really shine when they have a good front line to guard them. And they can get that damage out while not being targeted. Love the campfire pickup there, always nice. And I'd like to see DJ just kind of move out with these squirrels, poke and prod, see if he can get something done. Yeah, another thing too, looking at this map, as I was just kind of boasting about the the Gristmill RNG being put in, this map seems to be an exception to that, as DJ doesn't really have a good expo here starting out. However, DJ can expand down here, and then in that case, he's kind of locked Srownal into this is really all that Srownal would have at that point, right? Because DJ could just take all of this, but Srownal could get to that side of the map through this back way. Looks like he can kind of come up and around like that, but he can't come in from anywhere over here. DJ just gonna opt for a couple campfires at the moment. Gonna get his chameleons out. We saw him do very well with chameleons in the last Revolutionaries arc. I'm sorry, I was trying to check if he'd seen that campfire. He hasn't seen it just yet, but he's about to see it. Ferret's coming up for DJ. Gonna want to start sieging this position of his opponent. Sees the army comp. Sees the campfire. Gonna double check and make sure nothing crazy else is out over here. Nice checking that high ground pocket. That's exactly where I would throw down a Fox Warren. Alright, imagine DJ's just gonna wait for his ferrets and start poking down at his opponent. Try to force him to come into a fight. Lots of ferrets coming out here for DJ. Getting up to 4. Ooh, Srownal. Srownal moving around 2 ships and passing in the night. DJ's gonna take the engagement and just gets out. I love it. Very safe play. Doesn't overcommit. Now he can just use these ferrets to start poking down at these Warrens. However, Srownal coming in. Does Srownal know about the other campfire? He doesn't. So he might be trying to go into a base race scenario that's not going to favor him. DJ is all about that base race, and Srownal changes his mind, but it's too late. And DJ with some Very decisive decision making. It's almost a tongue twister there. Takes the match. Stroudl's still in it, though. He's got 1 life left. Let's see if he can pull a win against Mr. DJ Soak. Yeah, that kind of came down to decisiveness, I feel like. And Stroudl was getting in position for the base race, but was kind of hesitant about it, where DJ was like, oh, you're not here, I'll just knock out your Gristmill. But I feel like DJ would have won that anyways if Stroudl had committed more hard to a base race, because that bottom right campfire that Stroudl was not aware of that DJ had. Okay. We're gonna fight again. We've got a new contest started, DJ versus Stroudl. Vote if you want to get in on that sort of thing. Here we go. In the bottom left, we have Mr. DJ Soak. And his opponent to the right, the revolutionary, Stroudl. Okay, DJ changing things up pretty significantly this time. Of course, he's got his trademark moles with him. But he's rocking that Ferret Fox turret style that I personally enjoy a lot. And has the balloon with him as well. Meanwhile, Stroudl's deck is kind of good against what DJ is bringing to the table here, right? Like in the form of the owl specifically. So, I don't know, man. DJ sells off the farm. He's got enough money for 3 moles. Decides to take a Gristmill and 2 moles. Is he going to go for some kind of turret harassment? This delayed mole has kind of left Stroudl unprepared for it. Let's see, double mole here. Only 4 farms from DJ. He has to get damage done to get out of this even. Throws down that turret immediately. Maybe the moles were just here to protect the Gristmill, and now the contain begins. Ooh. Oh, he's gonna use the mole to tank for the turret being built. I love it. He's gonna lose the mole in the process, but he's gonna allow this second turret to get up, I think. No! Very smart on paper for DJ, but doesn't quite work out, and the balloon is going down for DJ. DJ all in with this cheese. Let's see if he can make it happen, Captain. I love it. It's cool. It's always cool seeing crazy things like this in the early game. Could definitely be a pain in the ass to deal with, but it keeps it fresh, man. Keeps you on your toes. Makes you think twice about just going straight 8 farms. Getting that damage done. But now that's kind of all this balloon's going to be able to do, unless Stroudl kind of tries to YOLO into it. I mean, no other farms are in range of this balloon. But turret going down. DJ just gonna sell that. The ferret's gonna help, but not against the balloon. Balloon picking up a kill on the lizard. Ooh, this is looking better and better for DJ. Now he's got some warrens cooking. Ooh, is these lizards gonna be enough to kill this balloon? Let's see. Looks like they will be. Turret gets down. It's gonna give DJ the breathing room that he needs to get these warrens out. Maybe the squirrels start spawning. Can they hold on? Stroudl is very close to breaking out of this. Very, very close, but Stroudl is gonna bust. And DJ is gonna have to go home. Stroudl is in an excellent spot this game, as DJ had everything invested up here. And now Stroudl's got a ton of lizards, he's got a ferret, and you can be damn sure he's gonna go knock on DJ's door. Very close, that almost worked for DJ. But Stroudl with making the right calls with some patience there. Breaks out just in the nick of time. I mean, if a couple more squirrels were there for DJ, man, he might have been able to hold. I think maybe DJ might have been too greedy throwing down that farm. Maybe he needed a warren up quicker, because then he could have like protected that balloon. That balloon was very critical, because without that balloon, the ferret can just get too much work done. And that's it. Stroudl beats DJ and continues on with 1 life left. Alright. Sroundle has made it to Lord Cheddar. He lost earlier to Lord Cheddar in the... because he failed the quiz. So he had to fight Lord Cheddar instead of Cheddar Jr. in Duel 16. This is where our last revolutionary split got eliminated. Let's see if Sroundle can do it. Let's see if Sroundle can make it to Mishi and beyond. Duel number 20. Alright, spawning in the bottom on his last life, the revolutionary Sroundle. And his opponent to the left, the duelist, the anonymous, Lord Cheddar. Yes, this is where Split got to. Now here's a question for you, gentlemen. Let's say Sroundle wins here but loses to Mishi. And let's say Swifty doesn't know. I think then the duelists win, right? Like if nobody actually gets through and beats Mishi, it doesn't matter who made it the farthest, right? Then you're just saying the duelists win at that point. I believe that's correct. Gentleman with a 300 billion bet or whatever. You don't have that many points. I know you watch the show a lot, but... Contest started a little bit late, guys. The bet is open now in chat. If you guys want to play with your wolf coins, throw them down. Yeah, okay, so... if nobody actually beats Mishi and beats all the 21 duels, then the duelists win. It doesn't matter who got the furthest. Yep. That's right. Maybe if I was the revolutionaries, I would still brag among each other. I'd be like, yeah, I got the farthest. So 8 farm, 2 tier 1. It's as standard as it gets. Nothing crazy yet in this match. Quick gristmill going down for Sroundle. That's something to note, but again, not super insane. Campfire is there for Cheddar if he so desires it, but it's pretty far forward. Like that you'd have to win the fights very well to defend that campfire, right? Because it's really just a stone throw away from Sroundle's base. Is campfire right here. It's going to be kind of hard for either player to take it, but it's probably still worth trying. You know, and it could actually be pretty good in a fight to help tank a little bit for you. Because this is for sure, like, where the fight's going to happen. You know what I mean? This is a pretty linear map and very short rush distances. So I'm a little surprised Sroundle's trying to expand so early. And Lord Cheddar's going to come in here and try to punish him for it. We have a pretty good Squizzard here. However, Toads are there, and nice Toad control bops all of those lizards. Those Toad engagements were enormous. And Lord Cheddar has so many squirrels coming in here. Warrens are starting to fall. Is the defender's advantage going to be enough for Sroundle? Or do we have a very short game? I mean, Cheddar's already getting damage done. This is already looking good for him. So many Warrens are falling. This might be past the point of no return. I don't think he's going to be able to kill Sroundle here. Maybe he will be, because he's killed so many Warrens. Sroundle is simply not rallying units fast enough. But the follow-up attack is what's really going to seal the deal. Yeah, this was smart play from Cheddar, to be honest. Like, this is a really short rush distance map. And Sroundle went for that early expo, and Cheddar punished it pretty hard. And I think that might be it. Okay, Sroundle's gonna pull back. He's gonna knock out this farm over here. Hey, why not? As a late great Total Biscuit would say. Cheddar keeping the aggression on. Kind of playing whack-a-mole with these Warrens here. And Cheddar moving forward. Yeah, this is too much. Sroundle's holding on for dear life. Why wouldn't you? I don't blame him. This is it for him, though. That is it. Nobody can get past the big cheese. Okay, guys, I've been going strong for 2 hours. Give me about a 5 or 10 minute break, and then we will get into the last run with Mr. Swifty. So, BRB, let's say about 10 minutes, and we'll finish this bad boy up. So stay tuned. I will see you guys shortly. What is up, everybody? I am back. Yeah, what a fun day. Lots of tooth and tail action here. So, if you're just joining us, Sroudle and Split fought valiantly, but they ended up losing to Lord Cheddar in the 20th duel. Swifty is the last hope for the Revolutionaries. Let's see if he can get it done. So, Swifty actually made it to Arc 3 first, and he got to choose which of the Gang of Five he would like to play first, and he chose the Child. So we will be hopping in. P-Boop with the dad jokes, maybe chuckle. Alright guys, Swifty versus Child. Let's rock and roll. Spawning in the bottom left, we have the Duelist, the Child. And his opponent to the top right, the Revolutionary Swifty. Swifty rocking that fox, as to be expected. The Child has lizards, so a little bit of anti-fox-iness with that. But the Child is running a very aggro deck. He's got 4 tier 1 and 2 tier 2. So that kind of says to me that the Child does not want a late game match here. And if we happen to get to the late game, well, he's kind of okay with Falcons. Falcons scale really well in the late game. Can kind of make up a little bit for not having that tier 3. Does anyone here offer TNT tutoring? Asks the Pancakes. I don't know. I mean, you're always welcome to send me replays, which I will analyze and talk about. I don't know if that counts, though. So 8 farm openings for both sides. Swifty grabbing that campfire. And let's see where the game goes from here. Pretty standard opening from the Child. 8 farm, 2 tier 1. Swifty following suit. 8 farm, campfire tier 1. Overall, this opening does favor Swifty a little bit as he does get this campfire down. Now, is Child gonna scout that? Ooh, yes, he does. Okay. So Child can respond. Ooh, interesting. I was going to say he could respond by building a bunch of tier 1 or a Gristmill, but instead, he's going to see if he can get away with knocking out this campfire with a couple moles. I think he wants to wait for both these moles, though, because Swifty is going to respond with those squirrels. There's 2 moles going to be enough to knock out this campfire before Swifty can respond in time. Let's see. The moles are here. Swifty moving out, but yeah, he's going to get the campfire. He's going to get the sell on these moles. He microed a little bit. He could have sold that other mole. He still would have taken some damage on it, but he would have got it back out in time at least. You know, maybe get 40 food off it or something. Nice pickup there for the Child. I don't think Swifty had that campfire out long enough to really gain that 60 food. I could be wrong, but, you know, he's got to rebuild that, which is not good, especially when you're going for a Fox Rush style. The early game is very important. You want to be as efficient in the early game as possible to get that Fox out ASAP. The Child did see Swifty rebuild that campfire, though, and he doesn't want to get... Oh, I was going to say he doesn't want to get behind an economy, but no, he keeps that Gristmill alive just long enough for Swifty to think it's coming and then sells it. Swifty is going to re-scout and see it was sold. And I believe he did see the tier 2 go down as well, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Ooh, the lizard run by the Child. I'm really impressed with this play so far this game. Gonna knock that out, only losing 2 lizards. But the Fox has been bought and paid for. Now, has the Child even seen the Fox? I don't think so. He's going to scout it now, but it's way too late. He does have chameleons. He does have lizards. Both of these unit types can perform very nicely against the Fox. Kind of weird there. He actually did get hit, but, like, it already kind of... It was too late. He'd already triggered, like, the moving back. Gonna build some more lizards and a chameleon in response to the Fox. Doesn't have any defense. So... with the Fox being out, Swifty should be able to come in here and get something done. He grabs that gristmill over to the side. But these lizards, man, you gotta be careful. He does have toads to help deal with these, and the harassment's beginning. This is gonna be rough for the child. He needs to try to catch this fox with the lizards, but also be cognitive of the toads and not just get blown up upon. Five minutes is going to be here before you know it, and the economies are going to start tanking. But Child is going to get a scout on this gristmill, which Swifty heavily invested in. So Child knows what's up. He knows he can be safe to build a couple more farms on his second as well. There's no entry for lizards to come in here and do a counterattack, unfortunately, for the Child. He's building some moles up. He wants to end this right here, right now, or at least back this fox off. Swifty's already been doing so well with this fox micro, and the lizards get absolutely devastated on by the toads. The chameleons are still moving forward, though one of them drops, the second one drops. And Swifty, with his fantastic fox control that he's well known for, is doing great this game. However, there's still a lot of tier 1 here for the Child. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Swifty does have a very healthy economy to help rebuild from all of his tier 1 warrants. The fox taking a couple hits, but it's still pretty safe at the moment. Child's gonna get a bit of damage done, and he's not even gonna be able to knock out that toad warren. Unfortunate for him, as Swifty pushes him back, and now I feel like Swifty is in a very good spot this game. It's gonna keep the fox pressure on. And I don't know if the Child's gonna be able to make it through this attack. These spawning units out of the warrens might be in a good position to deal with this fox, but doesn't look like it, as all the pigs are gonna go down. I mean, at this point, if Swifty lost the fox, it wouldn't even be a big deal. Child taps out, and Swifty is off to a good start, going up to the next duel with all 3 of his lives remaining. Okay, so Duel 16, this was the quiz. And Swifty got enough of the answers correct to not get punished. So he is just going to go up against the little cheese, not the big cheese. In Duel 16 here. Let's get it going. Spawning to the right, the revolutionary Swifty. And his opponent to the left, the duelist, Lord Cheddar Jr. Alright. Nice looking map so far for Swifty, I would say. A couple early bases. A couple campfires that aren't too far away. Lord Cheddar's got an expo. He's got a campfire. Maybe he could start expanding down this way. So I don't feel like the map is super heavily favored for either player. It looks a little bit nicer for Swifty, but I don't think it's too bad for Cheddar. Cheddar, though, 4 farm, mole rushing here. Swifty sniffs it out. Doesn't have any turrets, and this is 3 moles coming. The lizards are a nice response, though, because they can kind of hunt down those moles as they try to run back across the map. One of the moles is going to fall, but he gets a pig for it. I believe the same thing is going to happen here. A mole goes down, a pig goes down. Cheddar just sells that mole off and goes back home. So overall, not too bad, but Swifty is moving out with this lizard counterattack. I don't know if Cheddar is going to be able to hold on against it. Ooh, the turret barely gets up, but the lizards kill it. Only losing 1 lizard for that turret. Nice trade there for Swifty. Now he's got 3 lizards here. Gonna deny any more pigs from getting built. Gonna kill a pig. This is looking good for Swifty. Swifty's one of those players who really knows when he has the advantage and knows how to close out the game. And Cheddar with a desperation turret up on that high ground there. But still, Swifty is coming through and getting a lot of damage done. Gonna knock this turret out as well. Loses lizards for it, but he gets it. Swifty hasn't built any more farms. He's kind of all in on this lizard arrest. Keeps that 1 lizard alive. Very impressive. It's quite low. but he's keeping the pressure on so heavily, I don't think Cheddar's going to be able to recover. Yeah, I think that's game. Swifty is going to move on, short and sweet. Cheddar doesn't even have enough to build a mole. Yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Swifty advancing to duel number 17. Excuse me. Okay. So betting should be underway soon. Don't forget, guys, if you want to participate with the Wolf Coins, throw those down. P-Boop is working hard in the back, making sure these contests are constantly going. I appreciate it, buddy. Duel number 17. Let's hop into it. In the right, we've got the duelist Cold Warp Gates, pointing out in chat that his name is plural, not singular. And his opponent to the left, the revolutionary Mr. Swifty. Rocking that fox, once again, to be expected. Warp Gates with the Badger, with the balloon, though, which can kind of zone back the fox. We'll see, though. I know I always talk about Tier 3, and we, like, most of the time barely, you know, don't even see the game get there. But map looks good for Swifty. It doesn't look terrible for Warp Gates. Warp Gate does have an expansion to get into, but Swifty's got 2 campfires right here, which is a pretty big deal. And then also an expo there, and these couple bases down here. You know, probably this one goes to Warp Gates, this one goes to Swifty. So basically both players will have access to 3 base, with Swifty having a couple campfire advantage. 8 farms from both players. Let's see how the game progresses. 8 farm campfire from Swifty. I do think that is greedy. Like, if Warp Gates had lizards or maybe put his Warren, like, right on the edge of his territory, in theory, I do think he can get over here and harass that campfire before the units are down for Warp Gates to defend. Or, I'm sorry, for Swifty to defend. I might mess those names up a little bit. But you guys know what I'm talking about. It's not like I've been talking straight for 2 hours or anything. Cool Warp Gates. Getting that skunk down. I think Swifty saw it. Yeah. He knows the Tier 2 is coming. Doesn't know it's a skunk per se, but knows Tier 2 is up. Double campfire here for Swifty. He's not messing around. I think Warp Gates is probably going to wait for his skunk and see if he can punish Swifty for taking these campfires. I'd love to see a couple lizards into Swifty's comp. You know, Squizzard, I feel like, deals pretty well with going up against Squirrel in Tier 2. With the exception of maybe going up against Chameleons. I think Chameleons do pretty well against lizards. So let's see how the guys want to progress from here. I'm getting a little bit worried for Warp Gates. You know, when you see your opponent go for campfires like this, I think the kind of standard response is getting a gristmill, building a couple farms so you don't fall too behind on economy. There he goes. He wanted to get that Tier 3 out first, though. Let's see if Swifty is going to get in there and get the scout. No, he gets pushed back right at the gristmill. And I don't think seeing that gristmill is really going to trigger Swifty to move out because he's invested so much in the campfires. I could be wrong, though. He's got a lot of lizards on the way. He's got the ferrets. The ferrets are a pretty good call here to start sieging from a distance. But he's not aware of the badger coming out. If Cold Warp Gates can get away with that badger and kind of blindside Swifty with it, that could definitely be game. Badger's super powerful unit. Cold Warp Gates managing his money very well. By the time this Warren is up, he should have 180 food ready to go. There you go, boom. Nicely done. The Badger's on the way. We're going to see that here shortly. Let's see if Swifty manages to attack before that Badger hits the board. Nice position here for Swifty. A lot of Tier 1, a couple turrets. Warp Gates. Oh, but Swifty gets the scout. That's a big scout. He sees the Badger. He knows the Warren's done. And against a guy like Warp Gates, he can probably assume that that Badger is cooking and was not supply blocked. But Lizards are good against Badger. Cold Warp Gates is gonna have to micro this Badger very well. Cold Warp Gates even sold the Gristmill. He's very one base all in here. He knows his economy's behind. He knows Swifty's got those 2 campfires. He's got to make this work. As long as he can micro his Badger efficiently and not get surrounded by this enormous amount of Lizards, I think Cold Warp Gates can do it. Let's see. That's a lot of tier 1, though. The Badger gonna have his rev up here shortly, or hers, rather. Badger's indeed a female character. Taking some hits on the Badger. The Pigeons need to heal the Badger. They're healing that Skunk, though. That Skunk was taking a lot of damage. The Badger is now getting healed up very nicely. The tier 1 army was slaughtered by Swifty, and Cold Warp Gates is in a phenomenal position to win this game and take a life off of Swifty. If you're not too familiar with the scene either, I mean, Swifty is one of the best players. He's constantly in tournaments, constantly either winning or coming in second place. Very nice showing here from Warp Gates. Warp Gates is no slouch himself. And that Badger play was a very nice call. He caught Swifty a little bit off guard. Swifty did not scout that Badger in time. If he did, he probably could have got his Fox out. But even still, I mean, it's not set in stone. I mean, the Badger could run over the Fox as well. It does happen. And Cold Warp Gates takes a victory, takes a life away from Swifty. Nicely done by Warp Gates. Which means we have the same matchup coming up again. Swifty has to beat Cold Warp Gates. If Warp Gates wins 2 more times, Swifty is eliminated, so let's get into it. In the right, we have the duelist, Cold Warp Gates. His opponent to the top, the revolutionary Swifty. Warp Gates changing it up this time. Getting the Fox in his deck. And a little bit of mole shenanigans here. 4 farm, though. So Swifty should know it's coming. He did get the scout off. But instead of going home to defend against this, he went out to get more to lay of land. But he's back in time to sell this farm off. Nicely done. It's going to be hard to get this mole out of here from this angle. It is going to happen, but it takes a couple extra hits. Going to take a little bit longer for it to heal up before Cold Warp Gates can sell it off. Definitely an early game lead here for Swifty. Cold Warp Gates didn't lose any money, but this 60 food is floating until he can heal that up all the way. And Warp Gates, or Swifty, with a very nice response to this with a 5 farm double. Warp Gates did scout it though. And instead of getting a second warren of his own, he's going to go for the turret. Which I don't know if that's the best call, to be honest, because I think Swifty can wiggle his units into attacking just that warren. But Swifty, with the mind games here, sells off his warrens, goes up to 8 farms. Cold Warp Gates should follow suit. And now we're going to go into more of a regular early game. Since Swifty did not attack, that floating mole didn't matter too much. He is going to still have a slight lead here, because as you can see, he's got all 8 farms already up. Meanwhile, Warp Gates are still spawning, but that's going to matter less and less, especially as the main base farms out. They're still going to have the same amount of money. So, slight economic lead for Swifty in the early game, but that will stabilize out. Warp Gates is gonna... Oh, did he not see it? Oh, man, he went back home just a little bit too early. He could have seen that campfire out in the middle of the map for Swifty. But Warp Gates does have access to his own campfire up there, but he hasn't actually scouted it. Maybe he doesn't know. That's a pretty big deal. Gonna have some Squirrel Toad versus Squirrel here. I'm sure Swifty will get his own tone soon, but right after the scout ends, Swifty gets into that fast Fox. And meanwhile, Cold Warp Gates is following suit. So Fox timings are pretty similar. I would still give Swifty an edge in this game. However, because of that campfire, I really wish Cold Warp Gates would scout his own campfire up top here. Swifty sees the Fox. Warp Gates doesn't sell it. Warp Gates should see the Fox from Swifty on this scout. No, he doesn't. Oh, maybe he's just trying to find another way to get in there. He needs to let his commander heal up first, but no, he does not get the scout. So he does not know that Swifty is building a Fox. Kind of good for him that he didn't sell his Fox off, though. Because a lot of times that could be the response, you know, when your opponent scouts it so quickly, you sell it off, they still think you're building it, you build a bunch of tier 1 and moles and profit. I feel bad for Warp Gates, man. This campfire is right there. I think Upscuchin in the chat's pointing out, like, you can kind of infer something should be there just because the way that high ground is set up. But that campfire would have been really useful for Cold Warp Gates. As Swifty has been enjoying a nice campfire lead on the eco for a couple minutes now. Not the end of the world, but in high-level matches like this, a campfire can make an enormous difference. And finally, Cold Warp Gates sees he does have a campfire available to him. I mean, I've lost a lot of games where I look at the replay and I was just like, damn it, they had a campfire that I didn't know about. No, Swifty doesn't have turrets, so he's not going to be able to zone back the Fox from Warp Gates. However, Swifty does have pigeons, so as I was kind of talking about earlier, when the Foxes trade blows and go down to 1 HP, Swifty's got the pigeons to heal his back up. Needs to be careful taking turret hits like that with the Fox so far out of the battle, but here we go! The Toads run into each other. The turret adding a lot of value here. I think Cold Warp Gates is okay in this fight, but Swifty did just fine as well. Ooh! Oh, it hits the commander. I thought that was going to be a Fox hit. Oh, he's going to get... Okay, gets a pigeon. Oh, man. This is definitely on a razor's edge here. Whoever gets that Fox hit, plus a little bit extra, or even if a commander goes down, there's a very big deal. It's Toad engagements for both players. This turret is helping, but Swifty's economy is kind of through the roof compared to Cold Warp Gates. We're past 5 minutes. So the main base lost half its farms. Swifty's got that campfire. He's got 2 additional farms as well. So although Cold Warp Gates is kind of going blow for blow... Oh, and the Fox died! How did that Fox die? Let me check my replay over here. I saw... Oh, that one squirrel. Okay, yeah, just barely. That squirrel was in range, and now Cold Warp Gates is in a phenomenal spot. Knocks out the Fox from Swifty. Swifty's still with a ton of tier 1. It's hard to get into the soft underbelly of his base at the moment. Swifty sold off that tier 3 Warren, knowing he does not have enough time to get that Fox out, instead opting for a couple snakes, which are going to do fantastic if they can manage to get a couple stacks of poison on the Fox for Cold Warp Gates. No pigeons here for Cold Warp Gates, so keep that in mind. One of the snakes goes down. Swifty with a lot of momentum here. His economy is just powerhousing at the moment compared to Warp Gates. But Warp Gates should be able to clean this up pretty efficiently with the Fox eventually. The question is he going to take too much damage? So far, I don't think it's too much damage, but when these Warrens start dropping, if they do, the Warrens are getting very low, but Warp Gates just might have enough. One Warren going to go down? Yeah, but he saves the other one. Cold Warp Gates is still in this, but he needs to get an absolute massive amount of damage with this Fox. Swifty gonna deny that campfire. Warp Gates gets a little bit money back, but Warp Gates is really struggling on economy, but so is Swifty at this point. He's only got one farm. Cold Warp Gates in literal starvation now. But Warp Gates can sell off one of those Squirrel Warrens and get that campfire going. He needs to do it. You don't want to mess around in starvation for too long. Alright, Cold Warp Gates lifted himself out of starvation. He's got a Fox, he's got a couple Squirrels and a Dream. That campfire over the side is mined out for Swifty. This might be it. Like, Swifty's not going to be able to re-rally enough squirrels to deal with this fox. He taps out. Cold Warp Gates taking 2 lives off of Swifty. Arguably, probably the guy who's favored to win this, right? The duelists are in a good spot. Swifty, with 1 life left, has to win every single game from here on out. Cold Warp Gates with a phenomenal showing. Very nice 1-base Badger all-in game 1. Very nice Fox control game 2, outfoxing the Foxman himself. Let's see if Swifty can pull it back in match number 3. In the bottom left, the last revolutionary on his last life, we have Swifty. And up top, the duelist who is on a roll, Cold Warp Gates. Both players changing it up, away from the Foxes, away from the Badgers, and going for the Wolf here. It's kind of funny how they both, like, teched into this kind of style. You know what I mean? Like, it's really cool. I'm really impressed by both players changing up their decks and stuff, especially Warp Gates. Like, he came into this best of 3 really prepared. Not even a best of 3, really, but that's kind of 3 games, I should say. I mean, he had that Badger 1-base build, he had this Fox build, and now he's got this Wolf build to show us. I do like the fact that Cold Warp Gates has Chameleons here, though. You know, I feel like those are gonna benefit from the Wolf very nicely. Obviously, the Falcons will as well. The barbed wire here is a nice touch. You know, a couple pieces here or there. This map is not looking good for Warp Gates, though. I do need to point that out. 8 farm, tier 1 opening, both players, I'm sure, unless Swifty wants to be crazy. Which, if there was one player who would do something crazy, it would be Swifty. And oh man, he got me hyped for a minute, floating up to 160 food. I was like, are we going to see a Wolf first? But yeah, this is kind of a rough map for Warp Gates. He doesn't have that early expo. He doesn't have an early campfire. Swifty is kind of rocking. I mean, look at this. Can't complain. Warp Gates can take the space over the side, but Swifty has lizards. Lizards are going to let him roam around the map and punish a spread out player. So if you're Warp Gates here, a 1-base all-in might be the way to go. I'd love to see him maybe throw down the Wolf if he wants to get that in the comp. Now's the time to do it. If not, a bunch of squirrels, some tier 2 that he wants, and you move out. Let's see it though. Another tier 2. Yeah, he's going hard on the cams. Swifty is going pretty mirror so far with his own tier 2. Okay. Ooh, Cold Warp Gates sells a tier 2, decides to go for Falcons instead. I thought he might be throwing down that tier 3 Warren, but nope. Just changing it up a little bit. This is pretty hype match for Swifty, man. He can't mess this up. He's got the map advantage. Nothing's happened really yet, so neither player's, you know, got a distinct income or food or army advantage yet at this point. The Wolf goes down for Swifty. Cold Warp Gates has not seen it yet. Swifty just making sure no tier 3 is there for his opponent. Cold Warp Gates really needs to see this Wolf coming out for Swifty. That might trigger a move out. He's got a lot of tier 1. Maybe he's waiting on that Falcon. I don't know, like, if Warp Gates moves out before the Wolf hits the board, he's gonna hit a very nice timing attack, but if he waits too long, maybe that Wolf just adds too much power to Swifty's army, and very nice food management for Swifty here. You know, boom, just gonna have almost exactly enough. Get that tier 3 rolling as quick as possible. Campfire coming down here for Warp Gates. Adding a little bit of extra zazz to that income. Can even give him a little bit of a territory advantage. Nice to retreat back to and heal at. Could even throw down a little bit of barbed wire to make the engagement a little more difficult for Swifty. Warp Gate sees the expansion, but man, this is such a good time for Warp Gates to attack, isn't it? The Wolf's not here yet. The Gristmill was taken, but Cold Warp Gates is just not aware of that tier 3, unfortunately. So he didn't realize he had a nice window to move out. And the Wolf's basically here now. Like, that window is closed, locked, and sealed. Let's see it, man. Maybe Warp Gates just has enough to beat the army with the Wolf anyways. The Wolf's here for Swifty. Love that barbed wire. Alright, here we go. Wolf buff units going through a funnel, going through this barbed wire, but get a lot of skunk gas down. Oh my god, Cold Warp Gates is busting through. The armies trade, but the Wolf is still here. The Falcons are still here. But this is looking good for Swifty, I feel like. With the Wolf still on the board, I mean, look at these buffed up lizards. Just get it in here. That steroid is so huge. And the dream of the revolutionaries is gonna continue. As Swifty pushes Warp Gates all the way back to his base. But then realizes, you know what, chill out for a minute. Knock out the rest of his real estate. Regroup. Swifty's got the tech lead. He's got the income lead. He's probably got the army lead. Yeah, he's gotta be feeling pretty good for himself. Alright. Cold Warp Gate's gonna push out again for one last raw. Swifty actually sold off his skunks, or that Warren died. I wasn't paying close enough attention. But either way, he does not have skunks. But still, man, Wolf buff is pretty strong. The Chameleon's tanking a lot on the front. The target fire from Cold Warp Gate, so the Wolf goes down. The Falcons are still here. Cold Warp Gate's army is looking really good. He pulls his Falcons back just to make sure they don't die. It's really hard to make sure they stay on the back line, not the front line. Cold Warp Gates is breaking through. The tier 2 is gone for Swifty. But Warp Gates does not have enough left. He's going to push back, but that was a very nice attack for him. The problem here is that he doesn't have a base, though. And Swifty does. He needs to take another Gristmill. Fledgling armies for both players here. But again, that income advantage. I mean, the campfire does help. So Warp Gates is really only behind by like one farm, but he's got to invest 60 food into a gristmill before he can even get more economy going. You know, maybe he's not even thinking about that. That might be the right play here, to just all in. Sells off a Warren, gets a little bit more money, then rally his troops together. Handful of squirrels and a falcon. Couple falcons and a dream. The dream of ending the revolution. But Swifty with Squizzard plus falcons, arguably a stronger combo than just squirrels. Warp Gates is in position. Every unit is very important. Swifty's waiting for the opportune time to strike. He probably wants to delay this engagement until he gets his second falcon. Warp Gates is pushing in. The pig's helping fire here. Does he have enough? The second falcon spawns and Warp Gates' army is gonna get cleaned up. Swifty barely hangs on. And Swifty's moving out. Gonna knock Warp Gates into starvation. I think that's it. Swifty is gonna advance. But a very nice showing here from Warp Gates. Taking out 2 lives, almost winning this third game as well. This game was incredibly close. But I don't think Warp Gates has any hope left. Gonna give it one more try. 8 squirrels moving out on the map. A 9th squirrel. Well, actually, he's only got 7. He's got 2 that are rallying. But the pressure's on. Can he get in here? Can he target that falcon? It doesn't look like it. The lizard's on the front, buffering too much. And that's gonna be that. Warp Gates is gonna tap out. Swifty will advance. So the show's not over just yet. We're moving on. That was a really cool game. Very well played by Cold Warp Gates. Let's keep it going, you guys. Match number 18. Swifty with 1 life left. Let's see if he can take it all the way. In the bottom right, the revolutionary Swifty. Off the back of some close games against Warp Gates, but still here. And his duelist opponent to the top, Mr. Meowkaiser. That's kind of all over the place with that intro camera work there. Fox and Wolf. We have moles here from Mr. Meow. Let's see if he's going to get dirty. Get it? It's a mole joke. Oh man, I make myself laugh. Alright, so mole's coming down. Swifty's going to scout. If he's really on top of it, maybe he realizes 60 food is missing. Let's see. Here comes the mole. He sees the mole now. Sells his farms off. Responds accordingly. 5 farm double coming in. Actually keeps the mole here for now is Meowkaiser. Maybe he's planning on building a second one, but this is not looking good, man. Meowkaiser needs to go home and get some warrens built. You know, Swifty's going to wait for... 2's probably enough. You know? Yeah, he's going to move out right now. These warrens not going to be protected very well by the pig fire. Ooh, kind of greedy there, but he gets the building pig. Even now he doesn't have enough oomph. Okay, 2 more lizards come in. I'm surprised he didn't target fire down that other warren. He could have basically bullied Meowkaiser into a victory from there, I think, but Swifty is a better player than I. Alright, ooh, sneaky, sneaky. Nice sell again. Loses some money, but not the whole shebang. And a good defense pushes back these lizards. The game is not over. Meowkaiser was able to hold off against the aggression, at least well enough. Now I feel like maybe we're in about similar spots. Maybe a little edge here or there for one of the players, but close enough for me. We're going to go into the mid-game now. Let's see what these players want to do. Do they want to expand? Do they want to get a Tier 2, a Tier 3? All in with Tier 1. There's a lot of options here. Meowkaiser doesn't have the best expansion opportunities in the world. I think this is probably the best one. If he can kind of secure this area over here, he even gets a third out of it as well. But that's going to be easier said than done with his opponents having lizards here. So, Squizzard comp for Swifty. I like it. I think it's powerful and a little bit underutilized. And Meowkaiser just rocking a bunch of squirrels at the moment. This is very small rush distance, so it makes sense to me that these players are sticking on Tier 1 a bit longer than we normally see. Tier 2 finally coming down for Meowkaiser. But I don't know if Ferret's the right call against lizards, right? He's going to try to make it happen. He scouts that his opponent's going for a Tier 2 as well. But the Falcon's coming out for Swifty. Which are kind of high risk, high reward in a way. You know, you got to make sure you're on top of the micro. You don't want to let them fly too far forward and just get deleted on. Skunk's coming down here as well for both players. And no economic incentives or expansions really on the minds of these players. It's kind of one base in your face at the moment. And keep in mind, in about a minute and a half, the 5-minute mark is going to hit, and 4 of your farms are going to go fallow, and the other ones are going to follow suit pretty quickly. Love that turret. Love those turrets. This ferret is going to get some nice damage on, have a nice spot to fall back to. Swifty needs to be careful with that Falcon. Almost gets it taken out. Nice reaction there by Meowkaiser. Trying to use this Falcon to zone back the ferret, but it's so dangerous. Swifty loses that Falcon. That's huge. Absolutely huge. This is really good for Meowkaiser. He's got a strong army. He's got a spot he can fall back to. He's even building some moles on the front, but the lizards chew through the tier 1 of Meowkaiser. Only one left of each type. Meowkaiser's going to get pushed back for the time being. Nice defense there from Swifty. I'm not sure what happened to those building moles, if they actually died or if Meowkaiser sold them. I wonder if Swifty goes for the base race here. That's what he looks like he's thinking, or at least trying to take an engagement outside of those turrets. Very smart here from Swifty. Tier 2 falling. Meowkaiser and Swifty both lose the skunk, but keep their other tier 2 alive. And now Swifty is trying to get to the weak spot of Meowkaiser's base. Meowkaiser sells off the turrets, realizing Swifty's just going to walk around and might as well spend that money somewhere else. And Swifty's got the second base up, and the first farm goes down. Meowkaiser needs to get something going. Yeah, the campfire is just fine for the time being. Alright, Meowkaiser looking to make it happen. Trying to get as many free pop shots off as he can with those ferrets. Swifty in a good position, though. He's got the high ground up here. He's got a nice spread out area to try to come in. Let's see it. The attack begins. Skunk falls for Meowkaiser. The lizard's very good at knocking out tier 2 like that. Overall, that's definitely a victory there for Swifty, knocking out a tier 2 and keeping his alive. Meowkaiser again trying to poke out with these ferrets, hoping to get something done. It's very risky when your opponent has lizards like this. If Meowkaiser wants to all in here, he's building the moles. Building moles and Tooth and Tail are engagements, kind of like building banelings in StarCraft 2. Like, you're gonna attack, otherwise there's no reason to spend that money. Nice target firing on the skunks, and nice target firing on the tier 2, really for both sides. And Swifty's tier 2 is gonna fall! The one Falcon remains, though, and nothing can shoot air, but the reinforcing squirrels can. Does he get out with his Falcon? This is not looking very good for Swifty, but he does have the economic lead, so keep that in mind. The Falcon does fall, but trading 4 tier 2 for 2 tier 2. Meowkaiser keeping his ferrets alive, gonna sell off the skunk, gonna probably build some moles. He wants to end this game right here, right now. Is he aware of Swifty's economy? He's not. If Swifty can just hang on and not get railroaded, that economic advantage is going to kick in. But keep in mind, Meowkaiser does have a campfire, so it's really only Swifty's like one farm ahead. Nice, picks off a Warren for free. This is a very scrappy game, so stuff like that really, really matters. Meowkaiser playing phenomenally. Goes for the Gristmill on the west side. Moves forward. Does Swifty have enough? Squizzard is strong. Both players got rid of their skunks. But only one Falcon. The second Falcon hits the board. Swifty manages to sneak out another farm. This is where... Okay, but Meowkaiser does have that Gristmill, so he can build his own farms here. That was an awesome laugh. Alright, the ferret harass is continuing, but you gotta be careful when your opponent has lizards. They can't run down those ferrets. Swifty's sneaking out another farm. Ooh, very nice play from Swifty. He's gonna run over here. He's gonna knock out this Gristmill if Meowkaiser's not in time, but no, he decides against it as Meowkaiser's commander's there. He was hoping he would have a little bit of time before Meowkaiser could react. But again, Swifty's economy is very healthy. I think Swifty's army comp might be a bit better too, but a bit of a mistake there. I think he ran those lizards in a little bit too early. It was kind of like the lizards fought and then the rest of his army came in. The ferrets remained. Oh, but the Falcons stay alive for Swifty. Now the ferrets are going to go down. Swifty barely edges that game out. That game was on a razor's edge, dude. Incredibly close. Yeah, a bit of a misengage there by Swifty at the end. I mean, I think it was smart to run the lizards up, but there was just too much of a window between when the lizards engaged and when the rest of the army did. But Swifty barely ekes it out anyways. And Swifty's still alive. Let's see if he can keep it rolling. In duel number 19, bets are ready. Throw down them wolf coins. In the bottom, we've got the legendary duelist, DJ Soak. And his opponent up top, the revolutionary with 1 life left, Swifty. No Fox this game for Swifty. Lots of tier 1 and tier 2 from DJ to be expected. DJ is a very aggressive player. Throws down that mole right in Swifty's face. Let's see how Swifty reacts. Ooh. DJ with a little bit of the fake out there. Lizard Warren on the way here for Swifty, though. These 2 moles might be able to kill a pig before lizards are here in time. Yeah, they're going to be able to get the 1. But the mole goes down. And DJ just goes ahead and sells that other one. But this counterattack from Swifty could be deadly. DJ realizes this and throws down a turret. And this is one of those bases really with only 1 entrance. So I don't know if this is going to work. Maybe Swifty goes home, sells off these warrens, and gets some farms. No, he's going to rally up. He's going to try to make it happen. Squirrel almost here for DJ. Squirrel's out. Let's see it. Swifty moving in. He's going to be able to get this turret, but at what cost? Couple lizards go down. Good trade there for Swifty. But DJ's starting to eke out a little bit of an eco lead. More lizards on the way for Swifty. If he can knock out this Warren or even that pig, this would be pretty big. But the squirrels are in a nice defensive position here. It's going to be hard for Swifty to get in, but he's going to go in anyways. Kills the squirrels. Oh, man, DJ! Barely keeping that pig alive. Nice victory there for DJ. Swifty losing all his lizards. It would have been hashtag worth if Swifty knocked out that pig, but not today, says DJ. Ooh, interesting. DJ recognized that Swifty teched out and is going to try to punish that with some moles, with some aggression. With the squirrels, is Swifty going to be able to hold on? That was greedy. See, what happened was Swifty sold his warrens to build some farms a bit quicker after that initial attacks were over, but DJ is very good at sniffing this kind of thing out and knowing when he's got a lead in the early game. This might be it. DJ Soak has dealt crippling damage. Even if Swifty cleans this up, all his pigs are dead. DJ's on 6 farms. And it's a sad day for revolutionaries. And a glorious one for duelists. As Swifty is going to try to get something done with these last remaining lizards here. But I mean, I hate to be... Oh, yeah. See, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, I hate to be that guy. And not hype it up to the last second, but this is looking amazing for DJ. Yeah, Swifty taps out, and DJ takes it, winning Season 2 for the Duelists. Very nicely done. Rip Revolution indeed. Now, I believe in Season 1, correct me if I'm wrong if you're still here, Mr. Gentleman, Mishi ended up winning for the Duelists, right? Or was he one of the bad guys? Oh man, it's been too long, and I have a terrible memory. Thank you everybody for tuning in. It was a blast. I always appreciate seeing you guys all show up when I stream, man. And big shout out to everybody who organized this event, everybody who participated in it, man. Don't be shy. Sign up for this, man. It's gonna happen again. Gentleman is thinking in a couple of weeks, maybe. I think the duelists are pretty locked in, but there's always spots for more revolutionaries. Mishi won with 3 lives left last season. That's what I thought. Okay. Very cool, you guys. we can, gentleman's got this fancy recap here. I can show off. Let's see. Did that work? Yes. Okay. Kind of slowly show it. I'm like out of voice here, so I'm not gonna say every little thing. But you can take a look at this. I'm sure Gentleman will have it floating around in the Discord. Nice showing. Shroudle and Split doing the best. Swifty knocked out the DJ primarily because Cold Warp Gates did so well against him. Cheddar Jr., my daddy's the strongest. Nobody made him to Mishi. Didn't even have to get his hands dirty. Revolution removed. The Duelists win. Keep your eyes peeled for Season 3, you guys. Sign up for that in the Discord. I know I don't do the show as often as I used to, but Tooth and Tail TV is not dead. I still want to do replay shows from time to time. Shoot me replays of your games at toothandtailtv@gmail.com. Any level is always welcome of play. What else is going on? Best Sakia NA's Tooth and Tail League is underway at the moment. We're going to have another 21 duels before you know it. Definitely sign up for that as revolutionary. Tooth and Tail TV 2 is going on as well, so give a follow to that channel. Ran by Knots Proto. Was it Protocam? I think it's Protocam that runs that. When I quit doing Tooth and Tail TV on a regular basis, he stepped up. Yep. And other 21 duels. If you really enjoyed this, want to see some more, check out Radio Prozic's channel. Check out Mishifis. And that's it, you guys. something YouTube. Yeah, update YouTube. Listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get some Five Guys burgers and fries, right? I'm going to eat that, and then I'm going to stream on Delthius TV. Yeah, check out my other channel, guys, Delthius TV. I play other games on there. I'll probably play some Magic as I update my YouTube. I'm going to get the YouTube and the highlights. Going to get everything done today because I have the time. Gaby, take me with you at Five Guys. Let's roll, man. Yeah, shout out. I believe Gentleman, Jed Erickson, and Gabany are the main organizers behind 21 Duels, so shout out to all those guys. And yeah, that's it, man. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Hell yeah, let's all go to Five Guys. Oh, man, that'd be so much fun. Yeah, that's it. If you're a new player, man, definitely get in that Discord. It's all about the Discord. And I think that's all I've got, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me. Mishi really helped out for Season 2 as well, so big shout out to him. Of course, big shout out to Premium Bow, my #1 mod, keeping those contests going, let you guys throw around wolf coins. You're all a bunch of beautiful nerds. If you want to watch some more Delthius, I'll be on my other channel, Delthius TV, here in a little while, so come say hi to me there. And until next time, guys, don't forget to send me replays so we can get another feast going. And that is it. You're all amazing. Love all you guys. It's always fun hanging out with y'all. And I will see you guys next time.